Okay, so that's it. It's a new level. That song, there are a number of things that I think we need to remind ourselves of. I am favored. It's a new level. I'm taking over. These are the things that we want to say to ourselves so that we understand specifically where we're going and what we are about. And as we come together this evening, we are in the Know Your Numbers segment of the course. Know Your Numbers. Um, I hope that everybody would have completed their documents, done your homework, and so on. If you're serious about it, you have to take yourself serious. If you want to get the results, you have to put in the work. If you need help, reach out for help. But don't treat it as though you don't have to do it or it's not that serious and then expect to get the results. So this evening, as we talk about knowing your numbers, now, why is it important to know your numbers? Now, we started off looking at our mindset, cultivating a healthy mindset, knowing your money mindset, knowing how you think about money, how you feel about money, and so on. And that's the first step. But the next step is to really know your numbers. And I would have mentioned before, and you would have seen it in your questionnaire, specific questions about money. How much last week we dealt with? How much money are you earning now? What are your monthly bills? What does what figure? What's the figure for your monthly bills for the entire year? So we started stepping into that number zone, knowing your numbers. Now, this evening, I want us to go a bit deeper into the numbers. And first of all, let me ask who completed the questionnaire? How many of you completed the questionnaire? If you need me to send it again, no problem, I can do that. But how many completed the questionnaire, or were you able to answer the questions in the questionnaire?
I didn't complete it.
Okay, you received it. But do
I
I?
did. A lot of points were incomplete, yes.
Okay, great. All right. Now, it is important to know our numbers. There are a couple of things we need to know. One, how much are you currently earning? And if you don't have a specific figure, try to give an approximate figure. If it is that you're writing the figure you're earning daily, the figure you're earning weekly, the figure you're earning monthly, that's okay. All right. The figure you're earning yearly, because we talked about the different mindsets: the weekly mindset, the daily mindset, the weekly mindset, the yearly mindset, and the generational mindset, right? So I want us to really commit to a figure that we're earning right now. I really want us to commit to that figure. Commit to the figure that we're earning, and also establish the figure for our debts. How much is it that we actually owe right now? Who do we owe, and how much is it? Um, I want to, first of all, can I ask, does anybody here know the specific figures for those things? How much you're earning right now specifically, and how much you owe to people? Anyone knows those specific figures?
My husband did do the calculations last week, but honestly, I really don't remember. But um, my uh, my my rank, well, is soon going to be mortgage. My mortgage right now is 12,
Mhm,
and my light is 220.
mhm.
Phone is 220. Cell phones is 85 a piece, 85 for each.
Mhm.
And the water is 140.
Mhm.
Then I get to do it gas, because the gas is, well, I'll say about $40 a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Looking to convert that to natural gas just now. So
And do you
I,
have a single place where you store this information?
mm, no, cause I budget the, I always do the budgeting all the time.
Okay.
So I look at the numbers of how the bills rise and fall, how they come in each month. Sometimes they might rise a little or drop a little. It
Mm-hmm.
depends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I will go do over the numbers again
Mm-hmm.
and tie them up. And yesterday do the questionnaire sent it into you. So
Okay. Great. All right. I want to show you. Anybody else has a specific place? How do you handle your numbers? How do you handle, where do you record your information, what you earned, what you owe, and so on? Where do you record it? How do you record it? Anybody?
All right, for me, I was recording on a spreadsheet, which I find I don't take the time to do.
Mm-hmm.
But what I started last month, I have a book that I started to write down all the items
Mm-hmm.
and total it all. And it would say when I go to the ATM, this is what I am drawing off
Mm-hmm.
because this is what I'm looking to spend. And it worked really well for January. And I mean, I did not go past the ATM at all because that's what I had there. That was it.
Praise the Lord.
At least that worked. And I already was on first again this month.
Mm-hmm.
But lo and behold, the injury came into place and that take up funds from,
Right. Something came up. Miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. So it means that you now have to include that in the group of things that what you had for January. It means now in that list you have to put in miscellaneous and put a figure for that, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I do that. Where I did it, but I don't put nice so big, but this one's a big one, but the FMH it'll be a large figure.
Right. So it means that that is part of the capacity in terms of where you need to stretch. So we're not going, in other words, it came up, it happened, it was something you were not prepared for, but we can prepare now for it, or we can include it. Right?
Okay.
So I want us to look at, I have on screen a spreadsheet, and this is a spreadsheet. You can see from the dates on it. So this was very real information at that time. Now,
You mean your figures got bigger?
man, listen, they got smaller. They changed. They do all kind of things here. I looked at this and I was like, wait, wait, who's this? Right? It's just that I saw my name at the top. I was like, oh yeah, okay, all right, if you say so. But this is what it was, right? So this is a spreadsheet, and this is one of the systems that I use to track and to manage and so on. It was designed by an accountant, so a lot of the work that you would think you have to do on your own, a lot of things you can't see, I would be able to see because this spreadsheet was actually designed to show me certain things, right? So you will see I have here well, I think I saw Minister Hetty came in just now, so good evening, Minister Hetty, thanks for joining. So you will see here, if you look at the items, now this is just a simple, this is the cash flow worksheet. And the reason why I'm doing the cash flow first is that when we talk about knowing your numbers, The cash flow is the document that shows you how your money flows in and how it flows out. So it's like a river. I consider it to be my river document. It shows me what's flowing in and what's flowing out. So it is important to have a cash flow document. So like I said just now, what happened to you, Judy, we're going to learn from that, and we're going to kind of plug that in so that you understand, okay, all right, this thing will happen again, not, and it's not going to affect me the same way again. So the cash flow requires you to know what your income is, what's coming in. So you'll notice here that I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 streams of income, and I still had an other, right? I still had an other. Crazy. And here you'll see 2 columns, actual and then the budgeted, right? And so you have actual and budgeted for each month going across. Now under that I have the expenses, right? I cannot remember. See this there? I don't know what I was doing for entertainment. Lord have mercy. I am not sure. I can't remember. Probably something to do with the church or something I was hosting that costed that. I can't remember. I would love to. But I would have. There's another tool I use in conjunction with this that would tell me what it was. But I'll tell you about that in a minute. So you will see as I come down, you can see all the expenses coming down. You can see the figure coming here, and then you can see the cash flow surplus and so on, right? Now, let me see. I think I use my budget column as I budgeted was actually how that in 2011, that's how it actually worked out. So I didn't have to come and replay and put the same things in the actual. Once I don't have anything there, it means it went according to the budget. Now there's another tool I use in conjunction with this, and what I do is that every year, at the beginning of every year, I get myself a diary. And I get that diary is for the specific purpose of recording daily what income is coming in and what income is going out. If I buy wingdings from Chefette, it's written in there in the daily stuff, whatever is going out daily, right? If let's say if I get, say, a pop-up money, let's say somebody came to purchase something that they would normally purchase, or somebody called and said, hey, I want to have a session or whatever, I would record that in the daily diary to show, well, this is what came in on the day. And then at the end of the diary, at the end of each month, Crystal, pass me my diary there, please. At the end of each month, I will then be able to go through and record what was actually spent, what actually came in, and reconcile it. The other thing I do as well is that I record all income in a receipt book. So you can make your notes as I go along and as I talk, because these are the things that you will want to put in place if you're going to get serious about your money. So this is one diary. This is 2 diary, right? And these are the ones for this year. So you can go back in my life. Probably my father died in 2004, and from 2005 I've been doing the diary keeping and recording everything, and recording daily. If I couldn't write it in my diary, then it meant that I shouldn't be doing it. Or if I wrote it and then I look back at it and I realized, wait, chef, I gained too much of my money, boom, stop, change, right? But the actual recording helped me to see visually who I was financially, who I was relationally. Because if I went out with somebody, I will put it in that diary as well, right? We went to church, I'll write it in there. So that's how I used it to record. The receipt book, it is important if you're going to get serious about money and if you're going to get serious about your financial health and so on. It is important that you have a receipt book to record all the money that's coming into you, especially if you have income that's coming to you outside of a formal process such as a salary or a wage. Because if you have a salary or wage, then that would be accompanied by pay slips and so on. And if you're working with a company, that company will probably have a process where your money is going to the bank. So there will be a bank trail and the bank will track that. Outside of that, if you have monies that are not being recorded in that way, then it is important that you keep your own receipt book and you record those monies, because that really speaks to who you are financially and what you are really worth. So when we talk about knowing your numbers, these are the tools that you need to have. A good spreadsheet. One, have your diaries at the beginning of the year. Have your receipt books. Okay? Now, outside of those, what is also important, like I said, we started with knowing your numbers, knowing how much you're currently earning, knowing how much you owe, having a idea as to what your life really costs. And you will notice from the questionnaire that the questionnaire asked you about the real and the imagined. So let's say, for example, let me give you all an imaginary one for me. I want to get married. I plan to get married at some point in the future when whoever is smart enough traps me, right? So there's an imaginary cost or bill associated with that process, right? I don't want it to be too high because I'm about that too old for that nonsense. But still, there will be a cost. So when I say real and imagine, right now that might not be factored into my budget. I might not be saving for it. But if I know it's something that I want to do, something I want to work towards, and I put it in there, then I can start factoring that into the budget. I can then start adding an amount of money. It might be, for somebody, it might be divorce. Okay, I want to be divorced. This is what my divorce will cost me. Factor that in. So that's why I say real and imagine. You will notice, these are the actual costs that you have now. These are the ones, the imaginary, or it might be costs, things that you should be paying, but you have not yet wrapped your head around how am I going to do this. One of those things, it might be something like land tax. For me, I have some property that I have to probate and title and stuff like that. I know that's going to cost me a good $10,000. So those things I have to factor in and have a plan for those things. So they're not part of my expenses right now, the costs now, but they have to come into play at some point in time. Now, if I know what they are, no matter how big they are, because like for instance, the legal things that I have to do will cost me probably 10, 20,000 or so. No, 10,000, 20,000, when I sit down sometimes when I think about it, it might give me a headache. But if I factor it in, I say, hey, okay, that's $10,000 or that's $20,000. If I accept it, I factor it in. My next question is, what can I do to earn the $10,000 that I need to do this? Or, like say, in case of the land and the things that I have to do, what can they do to create the money that's needed to do the things that needs to be done with them? You understand what I'm saying? So regardless of how big it is, how scary it looks, just know your numbers. Know this is what this will cost. For somebody, it might be simply being able to take care of my own funeral expenses. Okay, let me go and have a conversation with a funeral director that of my choice and find out what it costs and and start to factor that process in so that I don't leave that responsibility on the shoulders of my loved ones. Whatever it is, no matter how it is. So knowing your numbers. Now, as we think about knowing our numbers, why is it critical that we know our numbers? If we don't know our numbers, it means that we are living, we're doing guesswork. We are living spontaneously. We're not living in a disciplined way. We're not approaching life from a place of being in control, right? When you know your numbers, then it is that knowledge that helps you to elevate, to know that, okay, this is what I have to become, this is what I have to step into. And this evening, what I wanted us to do, I wanted everybody to get a bag. I don't know what bags you have available, if you have empty bags or and so on. It could be whatever the bag could be your choice. This is my bag that I've chosen to work with, right? And I wanted everybody to get a bag so that you understand the concept. It doesn't matter what type of bag you get. It could be a sports bag, it could be a haversack, it could be a ladies handbag, it could be a little cute, whatever it is for you. I want you to get a bag, and I want you to get some pieces, get some paper, and tear that paper up, cut that paper up into some pieces. And I want you, on each piece of paper, to write there are a couple of things I want you to write on these pieces of paper. Now, the purpose of the bag, we are preparing for a journey. We are preparing for a trip. We are going somewhere. It is important. I don't know anybody who goes somewhere. You go on a trip, you're traveling or whatever, and you don't have a bag. So similarly, we're going to be preparing for the next level of our lives. Where are we going to next? And the bag represents the container that will hold the things that we need to take with us on that next journey. So before we can put stuff in that bag, before we can write on that paper what we need to write on it, we first have to know, where are we going? Where are we going next? Because the one of the things that really, like I said, I was really excited about today, and I get excited about this session all the time, because from my own story, from my own journey, one of the things that I recognized that I needed desperately, and I had to be it in a lot of cases for myself, because I didn't have anybody who, the whole concept of coaching and everything is now real popular, and you have coaches and you have mentors, and you can kind of touch and handle these people. 1 minute. Hi, Sakura. Hello. Sakura? Oh, okay, sorry. Right, I thought you wanted me. Good.
Sorry, Miss Outram.
Yes, please.
Before you move on, can you repeat what the bag represents?
This is a bag that you are going to have to prepare for the journey that you are going on. The same way if I said to you, well, hey, let's go Jamaica, let's go to the US, let's go somewhere, we're going on a journey, you will have to start packing a bag. You will have to start getting a bag and packing it, right? So this bag is really what we're going to get to pack the things that we need to take to where we're going next. It is important. So one, you need the bag to hold all those things, to put all those things in. And I don't know about you, but anytime I'm traveling, you're traveling, you might know you're traveling next year, you might know you're traveling, whatever. What really cements it for me is when I get that suitcase and I start, putting things in. That really brings home the reality of, yes, you are going somewhere, right? So first of all, we want to get a bag, and we want to identify where we're going next, because that is going to determine what goes into that bag, right? And like I said, why I am so excited about this is that I had nobody really to do it for me. I had to do it for myself. A lot of times what we do is that oftentimes we are going somewhere. We're going places. You know, you hear going places travel. We're going places. But we don't actually know where we're going. And we get up every day and do the same thing and expect to end up at some different destination. We expect to get a different outcome, even though we have not specifically identified or prepared for that next journey. So this evening, we want to practically identify and prepare for that next journey. Now, this process is going to require a number of things. Now, where are you going next? Because this session is called Level Up. So you're not going to be allowed to come here and remain where you are and not go to the next level. And in order to go to that next level, you have to be willing. You have to be courageous to say, this is where I want to go next, though. I remember one of our participants, I think it was Judy, who said to me, when I grow, I won't be just like you. But when I grow, I won't be just like her. Right? Where do you want to go next? That place that you might want to go to might simply be identifying somebody else who, you know what, I want to do what that person is doing. I want to have my life organized the way that person has their life organized. This is my final destination. This is where I want to go. So in being able to identify where we're going, we are also acknowledging that we're not there yet. We're not there yet. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Because sometimes I think we take on so much pressure and you know, you see so many things coming at you from what everybody else is doing that sometimes you feel as though the work on you or the work for you is too much to even begin. But no, if you know where you want to go, it doesn't matter when we think of a trip and going somewhere, where we are right now and where we've been in the past really doesn't it doesn't really factor in too much, if you understand what I'm saying. If you have been to, like my case, I've been to Grenada, I've been to Guyana, I've been to Trinidad and so on. If I now want to go to South Africa, there are a few things from those places that I've gone that can help me. Like, for example, I had the experience of flying. Okay, I know what it is to travel. I know what's there. I know I have to pack stuff and stuff like that. But in the sense of actually going to South Africa, how much do I really need from those past experiences? Or do I need anything at all? Because there are people who get up and travel and never went anywhere in their lives. The first time I traveled, I didn't have any past experience. So where we are now, where we've been, what we need to do at this point is simply make a decision as to where we want to go to next. Where are we going to? What's that destination? What does it look like? What does it require of me? And there are three things that I want you to identify in relation to where I'm going to next. Who do I have to become? Who do I have to become? Simple question. Simple question. Who do I have to become? Sit yourself down, look in the mirror, and ask yourself that question. Because that's what I had to ask myself. Like I said, I had nobody to do it for me, so I had to do it for myself. Who do I want to become? Who do I have to become? Because who I am right now and who I need to be for where I want to go might be two different things. Classic example. I love comedy. There's a part of my personality that real stupid. Those of you who know me well would know. That other side is like Queen Archibald Cox, Iman Comedians. I mean, I can preach like Peter and Paul, and then I could flip from that in an instant and be real stupid. I could go to the ghetto girl at the rum shop in Baxter's Road and be totally cool with it. Now, that's fine because I can do those two things and I can flow, right? But once I decide where I'm going, one of those things one of those parts of who I am or what I can do might not be necessary or might not be relevant. And I have to decide, hey, you want to be a puppet? You want to be a clown? You want to be a pastor/clown? Or you want people to take you as a joke? You want to be on stage performing with the mad comedians? Or you want people to take you seriously? Where are you going? Where are you going? Are you going to continue to do everything that you've been doing for charity? Are you going to continue to just do and not charge for it or not package it in a way that people won't pay for it? And what was even crazier was that people were willing to pay for it and wanted to pay for it and was asking me how much, and I was like, you understand what I'm saying? Where are you going? Because once you identify where you're going, then the question is, who do I have to become? Because it might require a simple tweak, which was simple, but a big one for me. Something as simple as doing your hair. Often, my head hurts. I mean, I literally, just to think of getting my hair done and sitting down for a long time and just, because to me, it seems like doing nothing. You know how many seminars I could do in 5 or 6 hours that somebody to do my hair? You know how many seminars I could put up in that time? You know how many classes I could put up in that time? Like, seriously? Yeah, we're going to take a little move, boy. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's that mentality. Silver Hill, I'm moving. God Hill, I'm moving. Right? So that's, for me, that was work. But where I'm going, as far as global conferences, missionary trips, and so on, am I serious if I don't factor in the fact that, hey, you have to have a hair plan and a hair plan that makes sense? You know? So when you know where you're going, you have to decide. One of my colleagues, when we had a discussion, it was something as simple as, I gotta get my ties. Because he gave me all the time. I gotta get back my ties. It might be something as simple as that. I have to get back a business suit. I have to get a professional suit. I have to, put back on my pastoral gear, my collar, and so on, whatever. Fitness, it might be a health journey that you need to go on. I gotta get running shoes. So who do I have to be? Who do I have to be? How do I have to be? And that's an important question, because it is part of the journey. It's part of the stages. When you think of running a race, when you think of going somewhere, there's the preparation, right? There's the preparation. There's the actual participation. And then there's the finishing. So when you think of who you have to become, you have to be clear, very, very clear of who you have to become. Who do I have to be? And it means if you are going to go to a next level, it means that there must be, there's going to be a difference. I'm going to use the word difference. I'm talking about mathematical difference. There's going to be a difference between who you are now and who you have to become for where you're going. There's going to be a difference. There's going to be a difference. Whether that difference might simply be dressing differently, speaking differently, putting on makeup, writing more, right? Having a plan, waking up earlier, setting actual business hours for your day, connecting with people, right? There's going to be a difference. So you must be able to sit and record where you're going and who you have to become. Because this is the process for the program that you're doing. This is the process. There are 3 phases. Be more. So you have to be more. So what more do you have to be to do what you want to do, or to get to where you want to go? Be more. Now, after be more, it's do more. When you figure out who you have to be or who you want to become, that kind of gives you the template for what you have to do. So you have to be more to do more. Example, Many people say, oh, I want to do more in my life. I want more. You might say you want more money. It doesn't happen just like that. You first of all have to decide who you have to be to earn more money. For me, you have to be more organized. You have to be more committed. You have to be more focused so that you see opportunities. So who do you have to be? You have to be disciplined, right? You have to be more relationship oriented, right? So who do you have to be? And once you figure that out, the next step is what do you have to do? So when you figure out, well, look, I have to be more focused, I have to be more disciplined, I have to be more organized, I have to be more professional, right? Then what do you have to do? The doing might be, okay, I have to make 5 calls daily. I have to record my income. I have to record my expenses. I have to sit down and do a business plan so that I have a structure to where I want to go next, right? I have to sit and meet with like-minded people, people who look like and are what I want to become. Wherever I'm going, I have to start hanging out, right? You know, in the technology world, you hear about hangouts. You have to start hanging out, hang out, and just observe. What do the people who are there? What do they look like? How do they behave? How do they speak? How do they orient? Right? So you have to then start doing those things. And so it's be more, do more, and then the final stage, the third step, is to earn more. Because once you become who you're supposed to become, once you do what you're supposed to do, the money will follow. You won't even have to worry about the money, because I always tell people that money is a byproduct of your efforts. Money is the end result. I tell people all the time, when you put those two things, be more, do more, money will come. Money will come. The money, the way that money works, the way that money is organized, as long as there's you are value, you create something of value, as long as you brand yourself and you think, the money will chase you. People will walk up to you and ask you, okay, can you help me with this? I want so and so done. Or you did so and so for somebody. The money will chase you. It is a proven principle. Once you become what you need to become and you're doing what you're supposed to do, the money will come. You wouldn't have to chase the money will start chasing you, right? So those 3 things. Now, I want us to, as we prepare for this journey, one of the important parts of it is, first of all, knowing who we are. Not who we are now, but who we are at the destination that we are heading to. Sounds simple, but there's a big difference. And these are the things that I wish somebody had done for me earlier in my life. Because, like I said to you, there are a lot of things that I can be. I have different parts of my personality. I have different skills, giftings, talents. But are all of them, as Paul said, all things are, oh gosh, the verse is just evading me.
Lawful?
All things
Lawful?
are right. All things are lawful, but not expedient, not necessary. All things, it might be okay for me to do it, but is it really necessary? Is it really helpful? Right? So I had to sit down and ask myself that. So who I am now, I might be okay, I might be good, right? Or I might be bad, but we're not looking at who am I in the context of who am I right now alone, because you might need to look at that and then do the reconciliation, just as you saw with the cash flow. But who am I now? But more importantly, who am I at the destination that I want to get to? That is so important. So I want us to do that. We're going to take a few minutes and we're going to do that. And I am going to give you an example of mine. I did it one night with Bernard, and it was quite funny how we came up with it. I don't know if he would remember his, but I guess going through it again, he'll be able to do it. Now, who am I? Now, I'm going to give you the long version. And I think I would have done this. I started this with Minister Hetty as well, and then we kind of went a different path. But nevertheless, all things happen. I believe that all things work for good and happen in God's time. So this is my expanded version. Hi, my name is Cheryl Outram. I am a teacher, a pastor, HR consultant, and personal development coach. My passion is educating, empowering, and elevating people by learning and sharing new things and converting those things into action. Ordinary people can do extraordinary things by making consistent needle point moves. Heard that? Now, I want to ask, how much of what I just said do you remember? Everybody can tell me. Tell me which part of what I said you remember or your brain latched onto. Was it too long? Was it repetitive?
I think I remember all. I'm sure.
Okay, so tell me what you remember.
You said your name is Cheryl Outram. Wait, give me a minute. Somebody's at my door. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Come in.
Anybody else wants to go? Well, Julie.
You said your name is Cheryl Outram. You are a teacher. You are a pastor. You are. I don't remember no more.
Okay.
Sorry.
In terms of who I am, anything after that, or you don't remember anything else after that?
Mom, you know, is get like memory block.
Okay, good. So you don't remember anything more. Great. Good. That's what I want to happen. Next person. Anybody else can remember what I said?
Yeah, you're a coach. I'm also.
All right. What else do you remember?
Well, after listening to you, I missed something because I went to get a pen and paper.
To do yours.
Because I'm getting old. I get old. I don't remember, so I take notes. That's what I got here in my hand, pen and paper.
Good. No, the purpose of. Go ahead.
Can I say one thing? You know, one of the things that my coach always insists on us doing, I don't know if you can do it now, but we always had a pen and paper or a tape recorder because we never remember everything. And I have notes from 1989 written down. And sometimes you hear me say things and you say, oh, he's so smart. Hey, smart. I copy. I copy from smart people. So I don't have to reinvent anything. So I'm taking notes.
Okay.
All right.
Good. So the purpose of that exercise was to show you how to start. When you start to record who you are at the destination that you're going to, it might be a bit long-winded. It might, be too long because the human brain is trained to only remember a snippet or a summary of what I said to you. So that when I am really introducing depending on my audience and depending on the situation and so on, that will be reduced to, hi, my name is Cheryl Outram. I am a teacher. I am passionate about educating, empowering, and elevating people. I teach people new things by sharing I teach people new things by sharing information that allows people to go to the next level. Or I would say something like, my name is Cheryl Outram. I'm a teacher. I'm a personal development coach. My passion and purpose is to help people to maximize their potential. Boom, just like that. So you have to record who you are, because first of all, people want to know who you are. Now, sometimes there's a conflict between who we are and what we do. And that is something that when we are introducing ourselves, when we think of where we're going. Now, why did I mention teacher first? Because where I am going, my final destination is global conferences, and that global conference that will sit on the profession of teaching. You understand what I'm saying? So the teacher was mentioned first, and mentioned intentionally, and then following that was the pastor, because the element of being a pastor is that you care, you shepherd, and then following that was the HR consultant and the personal development coach. So there's the sequence to those things. So that's important for me to remember, so that I constantly add the pieces. I am adding the value. I'm constantly guided by those things. Once I have it documented and ordered, then that becomes my guard. That becomes my guide. That becomes my guard. Now, as I prayed in my opening prayer, and I mentioned specifically asking God to order our steps in His ways, order our steps. What I identify to you by listing the professions is the steps to where I want to go based on the occupational titles. Now, after that, I talked about my passion. My passion is educating, empowering, and elevating. So what's my goal? What's my mission? When all is done and dusted, when everything settles, what have I done? What can people expect? What can people hold me to? Did I educate you? Did I empower you? Did I elevate you? And if you ask those 3 questions and the answers to those are no, don't bother. Don't bother with it. Because if I tell you, well, I'm sweetbread, and at the end of the day, you when you go, you taste biscuits or tamarinds or something, then you know there's something wrong, right? There must be congruence between what a person says they are and what they're doing, and the end result that the persons who experience the person or experience the product and service, what they're getting. So it is important for you to know who you are, know why are you doing it, what's the end result, what is it that people can hold on to, what is it that what is really your brand. When people hear you, see you, interact with you, what will they walk away and say, yeah, you know what, she did that for me, or this happened, I experienced this, da, 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 da. And sometimes you're not sure, sometimes you're not able to do it on your own, but you can be helped by what people say about you. When people experience you, what do they say? Because a lot of what I have written here, what I would have said to you, this is not just me saying, well, I am this. This is the I would say the chronological evidence of who I've become over all the years of what I've been doing. And this is listening to what people have said to me. Okay, but this is what you do, and this is what I think, and this is what I gain, and this is how you help me. This is the summary of what people have said. So therefore, I can write it and I can now say, because the truth is, there would have been a point in my life where I did not know, or I wasn't as clear as I am today. But people helped me to get that clarity. People help me to get by giving me feedback and saying, hey, this is what you're good at, this is what you need to improve. People help me to get that clarity. So I want you to write your statement of who you are, and not just who you are, but why. My why is that I am passionate about education. I am passionate about education. I don't know, man. If you kill me, I can still be teaching. That's my passion. And why am I passionate about it? Because I love elevating, empowering, and educating people. I love doing that. Whether I get paid or whether I don't get paid, I love doing it. Right? If it's difficult, I'll do it. If it's easy, I'll do it. I love doing it. Right? So you have to then write your statement of who you are and why. And that is part of one of the things that you're going to put into your bag. Okay? Now, I also mentioned, as part of my why, I said my passion is educating, empowering, and elevating people by learning and sharing new things. Now, it's important, I mentioned the learning because I have to learn. I am constantly learning. I'm constantly on that treadmill of learning and improving myself. If I'm going to be improving others, then I have to be constantly improving. Because if I constantly put out and I'm not pouring into me, like the cup experience, then it means at some point I am not going to have anything to really share with others or to give to others, right? So I'm constantly learning. And as I learn, I share. So there's that effect. I learn, I share. And then the conversion, because I too have been guilty of being in environments where I learned things were shared with me, but then I did not convert it into action. So, and I specifically wrote that in there for me. Now, this expanded one that I give you is for me because I need to be reminded, hey, this is what you are about. When you wake up in the morning, this is what you're about. So, by learning and sharing new things and converting those things into action. And this is part of what you two have to own from coming to this seminar. Whatever you hear here, if it is going to be successful for you, you must convert it into action. You must then create to take the mindset and now let it become habits. And once you practice it enough where it's a habit, it then becomes a lifestyle, right? So you must convert it into action because we can hear things, we can see things, we can learn things, we can experience, and still not act on it, still not do it. Many of us are guilty of that. The other part of the statement is ordinary people can do extraordinary things. Why is that important for me to say? Because I am an ordinary person. Oftentimes, a lot of what we see in the media, a lot of what we see on YouTube, people and success is presented as though the individuals were born successful or they are a higher class of person and so on and so on. But my message, my experience is that as an ordinary person, I was able to do extraordinary things. And what I want to say to each person is that as an ordinary person, you can do extraordinary things. And how can you do that? By making consistent needlepoint moves. So you don't have to do one big thing. It could be one little thing that you're doing consistently. And that can change your life from ordinary to the what you would consider extraordinary. So that's why that is written for me. Every time I go to this, I know that that's the destination. That's what I'm about. So anytime I find myself drifting, anytime I find myself, it's like, oh no, hello, this is it. This is what you're about. You are not a dentist. You don't own a jet ski. You don't rent chairs on the beach. Because I mean, listen, I am so creative and so that I mean, one day when I parked by the beach, I was saying, I would like to own some beach landscape, yeah, and have some chairs on the beach and thing. And I was like, yeah, okay, so what do I need to do? Put that in place, okay, so how much do I need to get a 10 chairs? I could start off with 10 chairs. I mean, I said, no, looking at the beach and actually thinking like this, so I can start off with 10 chairs and I would need to hire somebody then to work those chairs for me and because I saw a white man on the beach marking, and I said, I just started thinking. And I was like, okay, so yeah, you seriously want? So I'm saying I could go from A to Z in terms of goals, dreams, whatever. But this keeps me centered. This keeps me grounded in what I've been called to do. I can do other things. I could do the thing at the beach and so on. But in doing that, I cannot allow that to pull me away from this. It has to be additional. It has to be extra, right? So I want everybody to create that statement this evening of who we are. If you want to talk it out and you want to share it, that's a beautiful place to start. I know I went through it with Bernard. Bernard, I don't know if you want to share. Or anybody who wants to go first can go.
Okay, ladies first. I'll wait for you, Mike.
And if you can put on your camera, if you can put on your camera and just do it.
Not intentionally, but my camera doesn't work.
Okay.
Okay, the ladies should be happy about that. They don't have to see my face.
All right, go ahead.
Um, well, when we first talked, I told you that my passion or my goal is to show people how to earn, save, and accumulate more money. But in taking my notes there, I kind of like your passion statement better than my passion statement. So I would say if you ask me what I do, I would choosing your words.
Mhm.
I'm passionate about empowering persons, showing them ways to earn, save, and accumulate more money.
Okay.
Sounds more committed when you're compassionate about something that you're doing instead of just I like to do this or I like to do that. I like that word compassionate about that.
So say what you said: earn, save.
And ways to accumulate more money.
Okay, earn, save, grow. That's what I'm.
Yes.
Earn, save, grow. Earn, save,
Right.
accumulate. Now, earn, save, accumulate. Now, when we were talking, I remember I reduced what you were saying to me to this statement, and I have it here written, Bernard. Teaching people about money and how it works.
That was one of the
Right?
statements. That was one of the statements as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it depends. I think you should have at least two or three. My mentor said, always have
Depending
two or
on
three.
your audience.
Because
Depending on
depends
your
on who you're
audience.
talking to, where you are. You just whip it up. You know, and you shouldn't always. People get tired of hearing the same thing. So, and everybody can't comprehend or don't comprehend where you're coming from if you say a certain thing. So it depends on the group. You have a different version.
Good, but you're just gonna what you want to do is to language it differently based on your audience, but the core of who you are must be
It's the
stated. Must always, don't change that, don't play with that.
Right.
So in other
Right,
words,
right.
you're not a hairdresser today and then an apostle tomorrow, or a preacher, evangelist. So if you are a hairdresser and an apostle, then merge those two together and that's who you are. Because
say something like a mechanic or something. The address thing got me kind of scary.
oh, sorry. No, I was thinking of somebody else when I said that. But okay, so for you, sorry, as a male mechanic, if you are, well, let me see. I would not even say mechanic for you because I think you are so skilled in. I don't want to say just the. I think you have a combination of practical skills, whether it be home maintenance, car management, car maintenance. You're well rounded in those skills. So
you could say carpenter too. I built my first house when I was 11 years old, and the house is still standing in Bushwa.
okay. So you see, you are preempting me. So I want you to hold on to those things. See? No. This is what, for me, when people sit down and they do a full interview with me as a coach, one of the things that when I'm questioned, I tell people straight, why do I do what I do? Why do people pay me for what I do? Why do businesses hire me? I mean, there's so many other people out there that can be hired. Why would people call me and say, listen, we need you. We need to. And it's simply because of this. I give people clarity and precision. I give people clarity and precision. So you can think of anybody else. You can think of any place that you would want to be right now. I can tell you one guarantee that you can walk once I've impacted you, or once you've come into contact with me. I give people clarity and precision. I'm gift. You agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I call myself the GPS for people. I help people, you talk about GPS in terms of global positioning and, knowing exactly where you are. I help people This is where you are. This is who you are. And in a way that elevates them, because I have that gift. I have that ability to spot, to scout, to see, okay, yeah, she's good at this. And sometimes I think people become afraid because they don't see themselves through those lenses. They don't see themselves where, I might see them, or the things that I might be calling out of them and saying they might not see that. But that's my gift. So I give people clarity and precision. I help them to level up by finding their global position. Now, global, why is that word important? Oftentimes, who we are is simply in the context of where we are. So, if you're working for a company, you know who you are as it relates to that company. Everybody can tell me, oh, I got a job, and when I go to work, I use this program to do my work and whatever. I impact so many people who say to me, oh, I know how to use the computer, but I only know it based on the program that my workplace does use. A whole big computer, But you only know it until you work at the bank. So that when you go into the bank, you log in, and this is the bank program, and that's what you know. You work at Williams Equipment. You go in, when you log in, and that's all you know. You understand what I'm saying? So your position, your global positioning is often relevant to where you are at the point in time. Now, what my job is, my responsibility, is to help each of you to see your position globally. Not just as it relates to Barbados, or as it relates to the particular group of people that you hang with, or the people that you know, but to take who you are and all that you can do and find your global position, so that you become relevant, so that wherever you are, whatever you are doing, whoever you are, it is relevant globally. So, for example, Community Development Department, the courses that they offered, we used to teach those courses from the community centers across the island. Excuse me. So it meant going to a physical location and actually training and teaching persons. Now, because of COVID, that program also had to go online, and you had to teach people online and so on. Now, I've been in the program for a long time, more than 10 years. And one of the things I remember very early starting the program, and I told you about this last week, in terms of how you perceive things, I would often be the person who would say yes. You ask me to do something? Yes. I find a way. And especially for people who have given me opportunities, I believe in the principle, if somebody has given me an opportunity to work for them, if somebody has trusted me enough to do this, and they come and they ask me to do something, it's not my duty to ask how much I'm being paid for it. But I always respond from a place of, you know what, this person trusted me, this person did this for me. Yes, I will do it for you, because I see their needs. And when they ask me, I see, what I hear is that they see me as capable of doing what they need done. And there's no amount of money that you can pay anybody for that. None. Because if a person doesn't see you as capable, they're not going to ask you. Imagine somebody wants to MC for a program. You MC. But a person doesn't know that. They never see you in that position, so they never ask you. But then you realize, wait, well, I could have done. You understand what I'm saying? So even somebody's ability to see you as capable and to come and ask you, that in itself is a blessing. So whenever asked, I would say yes. So I've taught in Barbados in the community centers. I've taught in St. Christopher. That's way up in Christchurch. Now I live in St. George. So if you know the locations, you will understand what I'm saying. So I've taught in St. Christopher. I've taught in Spicestone Resource Center. I've taught in St. Elizabeth Resource Center in St. Joseph. I've taught in Bush Hall. I've taught in Britton's Hill. I have taught in Grisette's. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I remember there were times I've taught in Black Bess. I've taught in Folkestone. What is the one in Folkestone? What's that one called? There's one down there by like where Carew used to live. Anyhow, I can't remember. Western, right. I've taught in Western. And I used to be all over the place like Punka, right? I've taught in, go up the hill by the new Chefette on the highway. I mean,
Lancaster, Orange Hill.
Right. So that one is called that new community center up there. I remember they sent me there when that one was first opened, just after God bless. So I've taught up there. I've also taught at Holy Innocents. The one at Holy Innocents, they created a community center right in the Holy Innocents churchyard. They asked me to be MC for the program, and I was also the tutor for the same center. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. So I am known as the person that you can call on. And not only call on, but you could call at me. You could call on me in the middle of the night and say, Miss Outram, my boss often midnight. Miss Outram, I need somebody. I want somebody to. I need somebody to do an MC for Gall Hill thing. Sure, no problem. No, being prepared, knowing where you're going. No, it means that I must always have certain outfits on hand for certain events. Right? Because I know I'm if I'm called at midnight to do something more, I can't be going out shopping to get the pair of shoes or to get a thing, or even if I have to do that, I have to be budgeting and managing well enough that I can go and shop and do that. You understand what I'm saying? But from that experience in the physical sense, because I've had to go, you hear all the places I described to you, right? Because I've had to do that, you know what happened? I met people from all walks of life across Barbados. I noticed that every community is different. Every group of people is different. How you approach one area, you have to be something totally different in another area, and so on. I've been in areas like St. Christopher. You get a more the population is more retired and more what people will consider the upper class type of profile person and stuff. Bernard, let me see, was it? No, I also taught at Briar Hall. That's another place too, because I think that's where I met Bernard, where Bernard came to one of my sessions at Briar Hall. But because I've been all over the place, what many other tutors would have said, no, many tutors would say, me ain't going to Bashable, nah boy, too far, too much gas. I've had to work in Briar Hall, Black Bess and St. Peter, and Bashable in the same day. You ain't want to know how much money I spent in gas. There are times when, and I mean, you have an hour for lunch, so en route to the next location, I gotta be eating and drinking. But what it forged in me is an ability to just move on the go. Boom, boom, right? So, coming from that, because of those experiences, because of meeting different people, in Briar Hall and St. Christopher and stuff, I met a lot of returning nationals. So you had to learn how to deal with them. You had to learn their culture. You had to learn, okay, this person is a returning national from England. This person is from the US. This thing. They talk differently. They have different expectations. They want to be handled differently. They want to relate with you differently. A lot of them invited me into their homes. They want to kidnap me. The computer, the letter A on the keyboard ain't working. They want me to come and spend the whole day at their home to fix the letter A. I fix the letter A. They don't want me to leave, so they feeding me. They this, they that. I mean, I'm so serious, right? So those experiences prepared me to deal with a global audience, even though I had not yet gone, to those places to cater to people like that. Now, when this program was placed online, these programs were normally only offered to Barbadians or persons living in Barbados, even if you weren't a Barbadian national. But when the program was placed online, I somehow got a student who was living in South Sudan and who was a Kenyan. She's Kenyan, but was living and working in South Sudan. And I was able to handle that. I was able to handle her. I was able to understand the differences in time zones. I was able to cross the language barrier in terms of how she was speaking, understanding that and slowing it down. And, there were a number of things because of the other experiences that equipped me to handle her. Okay? That is what I'm talking about being globally positioned. How do you take who you are, what you have to offer, the experiences that you've had, and package it in such a way that you could offer it to anybody, anywhere in the world? That is what I'm talking about being global, because we're going to find more and more as the world changes. We're going to have to be creative, whether you're an individual or a business, you're going to have to become very, very creative and very flexible and very open-minded about how you're going to, maybe it might be the same thing, you might be doing the same thing you were doing before, but you might have to do it differently because of all the changes that are happening in the world. So globally, positioning yourself globally, beginning to think, okay, you know what, I sell biscuits. I just sell biscuits to people in my community. But okay, so with COVID, nobody was able to move around. Community shops were shut down. I can't sell biscuits from my shop anymore. How can I offer this product online? How can I do this online? How can I get people to know about these biscuits? Okay, well, if I sell biscuits, I might not be able to sell the biscuits online globally, but I can do a program where I could teach people how to make stuffing. Use biscuits, make stuffing, and I can teach people globally how to make Bajan stuffing with biscuits. You understand what I'm saying? So you took the same thing, but you package it in a way now that it can be a global product, right? And you can charge for it. Because believe it or not, people will pay you for you to stand up in front of a computer and demonstrate how to make conkeys. And how to get them banana leaves swinged and folded and get them stay in a saucepan without everything opening up and skinning out. People will pay you just to come online in a forum to learn how to do that. Okay? So, like Kelly, my friend Kelly Henry, as I said to you, works at the Nation. Kelly wanted to do a cookbook. Kelly has done her cookbook and now she's taking it online. So if you Google Kelly Henry cooking or whatever, you're going to see Kelly has her YouTube videos and things. Money. So again, I showed her, okay, this is where you start, then you convert it to that, and then you convert it to that. So when you go, once you start to attract the audience, then you start doing your online thing and you will be the Bajan Betty Crocker or whoever, Martha Stewart or whoever or whatever. So being globally positioned, okay? Now, as you create your statements, is there anybody else who's created theirs while I was talking that wants to share? Who are you and who are you in that destination that you're going to? Anybody else? Come on, start to dream. Start to dream.
Sure, I would say I'm sitting here. I've been in seminars. I used to go to seminars every month, and the seminars start on Thursday, and you come back on Monday. I think that's what they did. That's the reason I lost my wife. That's serious. And the information that I get here with you, it is so, I would say, superior to a lot of the information I got from a lot of those seminars.
Wow, thank
and
you.
I had to fly. There's not a city that I haven't gone into and done seminars, spoken in front of 20,000 people and do all that stuff. But the information that I get from you here, that's why I said I'm taking notes, because a lot of things I forgot. And you just bring back all that information to me, and it is awesome. When you talk about metaverse and all that stuff, where are we going in the world today? And I know that there are people. Every time I go back to America, they say, "Bring me this pepper sauce. Bring me this. Bring me that." You know that if you're such a person that make pepper sauce, or you stay home in your kitchen and you do that kind of stuff, you can now publicize it on the net, and they will stay and buy it directly from you. You ship it directly to them. Your money goes into your wallet. I mean, you never leave home. I said, I wonder if you guys got that picture, because I think it's something new, but it's huge. It's a big deal. So all people think they got. I have a little business. Little business is not a little business if you're publicizing it on the internet, on the hyperverse, on the universe. It's global. You find business come from China, Japan, England, all over the world. So that little business that you have to hire people, lots of people now to help you keep up with your orders.
Mm-hmm.
So what the information you got here is mind-boggling to me. I said,
Thank
Lord,
you.
if I had someone like this, not only teaching me, but in my team, I would have been twice, 3 times a millionaire already.
Amen. Amen. But we're gonna get there because we're gonna do more in less time, Bernard. That's the plan. We're gonna do more in less time.
I'm a competitor, so bring it on.
Bring it on. Bring it on. And I love being on the team with you. So being very precise, knowing your stuff, right? So you have to be able to tell me who you are, and not just who you are now, who you are where you are, but who you are at that destination that you're heading to. What does it look like for you, Bernard? The bag that you have, what are the things you have written down on those pieces of paper so far and put in that bag? What are the things you need?
When I first thing I take my pad, make sure I got enough pens to write. I take a tape recorder, food, plan for food, hotel, all that good stuff. A couple of new suits or something because you ugly man should always try to look good. And
okay, so let me question you. So you said a couple of new suits. What do you plan to do with these suits?
At the end of Saturday night, you have a dinner. So everybody during the day you dress casual. Saturday night everybody goes to dinner.
So you want to do dinners? Are these financial dinners or what? Give me a bit more.
So financial seminars.
So it's a financial seminar coupled with a dinner.
Yes.
So those suits are for you to dress for that occasion.
Yes, during the regular seminar talk, we just dress casually. But on Saturday night, everybody dress and look like $1 million, and
And we're going out. So how soon do you plan to begin this?
Oh, well, we're working on it right now.
Good.
But by the time I come back.
So this is February. You're coming back when?
February. About April.
You're coming back April. Good. So realistically, can you begin this from May?
We should.
Okay. And the Saturday night going out and dressing up, are you doing that once a month? Is it going to be one Saturday night a month?
One Saturday night a month.
Good.
And when you say dress, not the hotel or the room that you use for the seminar, we have there's a dinner room where we go to the room, so you're not leaving that and then driving to another destination.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So we have May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Are you doing a Saturday night for each of those months?
We maybe Friday night, Saturday night. I don't know. I know.
Okay, but you're doing at least one night for each month, right?
Yes.
So that's 8 suits that you need.
Well, Barbados is gonna be different because you probably need the casual suit in Barbados. But I'm talking about way up there. It's hot. It's cold out there, so it's appropriate to wear a fully dressed.
Okay. But no, I like it. Actually, I like it. It reminds me of my Julian days because Neville was always decked out in suit, and it's like, you're in Barbados, hot. But Neville said, no. I'm not dressed for where I am. I'm dressed for where I'm going, right? I mean, he could hop on a plane, and I mean, you would see Cole Williams and those men do the same thing. He had to do very little to prepare for, or anything to prepare for business meeting, because he was always business ready. He was always ready to meet with the top directors, right? And he always used to say to us, no, stay dressed up. If anything, you take off, you come down. You take off your clothes and you come down when you have to relax. But always be dressed up. Because if you're going up, then you're dressed for where you're going, right? So, to again, having that mindset. So as you said, your suits, You have a plan, precision and clarity. You want to do business dinners, business seminars with a dinner. You personally have to have the suits. So that is what you need to put in your bag, and then add the other things, whether it be a camera person, refreshments budget, the location, paying for the location, and so on.
Right.
This is what we're talking about. Because once he said, you give in terms of your statement, I hope you wrote down your statement as to who you are. You teach people about money and how it works. You help people to earn, save, and accumulate. Earn, save, grow. I love it. Clarity. Because before you can do this for people, or before you can really get it right with people, you got to start working it on yourself. So that statement now has to go on your mirror, on your fridge, or your countertop, whatever. You have to record it on your phone. You got to type it out. You got to write it out. You got to stick it up. So that when you get up in the morning, you see, well, hey, this is who I am now. This is who I am. So start acting like it. Start behaving like it. Start talking like it. Sorry?
Let me tell you how much I become like that. I came home one night from when I had the bank, and I was practicing a presentation. It was about 2:30 in the morning, and I went to the bathroom. So I was in the bathroom. I was conducting the presentation in the mirror to myself.
Mm-hmm.
My wife came. What are you doing in there? Who's in there with you? Who's that you talking to? I said, nobody, man. I'm talking with myself. Open the door. Open the door. She swore that I had somebody in my room talking. I opened the door. She looked behind the blinds in the shower. She looked. Right there, she didn't look was under the toilet seat. You know.
And that's exactly where the person would have been hiding it had you think shit. You know?
But no, and I tell people, you know, I like fun. I like to joke around. I like fun and stuff. But when I start to work, it's all about work. It's work. After we finish work, then we can talk around and joke around again. But work is work. Period. Don't mix work with nothing else about work. And that's what I do.
Okay.
So I have problems today. They call me Mr. Hyperverse. That's what I'm gonna marry. And I said, well, yeah, because she don't give me no problems, you know, no headaches, and she makes me smarter and richer. So, you know, but people don't understand that, and if you're working, like you said, you gotta have a plan. You gotta work your plan, you know, and keep going.
Good.
If you just have just say you're gonna do something and don't have a plan to do it, you're gonna fail.
And that is what is gonna combat any inconsistency or any indiscipline, or you know, when you're running all over the place like a chicken without a head. It is that plan. It is what you have written down and committed to. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm about. So for me, even though I could do a number of things, my question is always, how does this align with what I said I am? So is it teaching? Is it pastoring? Is it HR consultant? Does it align?
You differentiate whether you're working in the business or on the business.
Right.
A lot of people work in the business, but they don't work on the business.
and knowing. Go ahead. Sorry.
They say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm working at this place, but what's the results? You're not working on the business, you're working in the business. You're just associated with the people that's doing business. That's all. But you got to see yourself winning in business.
And knowing your numbers is, as you said, the working on that business, right?
Like I said, I am blown away by your information. Everything that you said aligns perfectly with, you know, the direction that we ought to be going in. So
thank you.
Never know too much. Never know too much to become a student.
Thank you. Can
I say something?
Sure, go ahead, Judy.
Right. Just a few pointers. I like what you said that never will obviously you don't always stay dressed up. I want to work for this company. You know, so tell myself, tell God, you know, I'm not ready to stay. Here's not where I want to be, right?
Right.
I want to move on. So I said, okay, so apart from, going over there and doing some studies and so on, I started to dress up. So much so that, so when they say, why me dress so nice, do you know what happened? I walk in, I put in my talk to the test. I think that was telling her. That's something people were coming to the business place, because my one was actually stationed there, and it's mostly there. They say, are you the manager here? I would say no. But I used to dress up.
You look the part.
Yes, I moving on. And I had that kind of confusion, we dress up so, but these are my clothes, this how I feel. I dress it up. And then dressed up and doing so, I moved on, and they were shocked. Wow. What you really meant with the hair? I said, yeah.
Wow.
I gave it a time frame, and God came to me even before the time frame.
Wow.
Right? And even so, as a person, I would not say that I am the full makeup person, that kind of thing, but as a person, I take my, dress very neatly, keep myself clean and so on. Because I, in a very pretty other person with the same kind of job. One is this artist, and she said, tell me something. When you're out on the road and the other people on the road, why not they never look like you? They always look sweaty on telly, but you always look neat. You don't even first, but you don't think, what happened? I tell them first, I'm an ambassador for Christ, and then for the organization that I represented. Then when I called this lady, I called my doctor. So I was trying to describe myself to the receptionist. She said, oh, you mean the lady that always look neat no matter what time of day it is? I said, my goodness, that's what you say for me.
So it's your brand. It becomes your brand, and that's what I'm trying. That's it. It becomes your brand. You become known for it. I remember there was Kiyosaki who came here. One of the financial, the wealth muggles came here to do a seminar at the Hilton. And Cammy Holder had invited me, and Cammy told me, man, sure, come I can pay for you $300 a seminar, way back then when, what, who, when? Cammy said, come I can pay for you. Going to this seminar, no, same thing, same principle, dressed up to stand out. When I met Cammy was like, well, you look sharp, man. I said, yeah, but I mean, you paying for me, that what it is the least I could do, right? Cammy had on a pink shirt. Only man in the room in pink. And I'm sitting down beside Cammy. Who you think Kiyosaki talked to at the end of the meeting? Now, people were allowed to ask questions and stuff like that, right? So, you put out your hands on whatever. Kiyosaki said, man in the pink shirt. Cammy said, listen, I come here to dominate, Cheryl. I ain't playing. You go talk to me. You go see me. Cammy Holder and I and Kiyosaki had a conversation at the end of the seminar because Cammy was wearing a pink shirt. It was easy for Kiyosaki there were lots of people in that room. A man in a pink shirt. Right? So it is important that you figure it out. Where are you going? Who do you need to be? What do you need to look like? Right? Now, knowing our numbers. So I've asked you to know who you are and write that statement. I've asked you to put in your bag the things that you need to prepare, the things that you need to pack for this journey that you're going on. Now, Bernard spoke to it a bit earlier. One of the things you also need to write on your paper is, these are numbers again. How many talents, skills, and opportunities do I have that can earn me income? What are the experiences? Like Bernard said, you listen to him just now. Now, Bernard's a money magnet, right? I call Bernard a money magnet. Now, when I met Bernard already had, the boat when you're watching the movies and you watch these movies with the big, if it's you watch a movie, the big drug lords and things, the kind of boats that these people will have, these liners, and I speaking now, Bernard, not you. These boats that will have nice bedrooms and the yachts and 3-story and things. When I met Bernard, as we had, he brought one of those into Barbados, right? It was called Lady Isabella. And I was like, okay, teach me. So here is a money magnet who's also saying, oh, I could do carpenter work. Right? Now, if he thinks of it, and he said he built his first house. So if he thinks of himself only as, man, he's a little handyman, I could do a little carpentry or whatever. Or he thinks of it as, I'm a carpenter, but carpentry can't earn me money because I am too old now and I don't have the tools and this. But what about the skills that you know that you can come now and teach those skills online to a lot of the boys? Everybody got a computer and a tablet. Design a course thing. Even me, get me on there, because I remember one year my bathroom door was a bit too low for the rug that I want to put down. And the bathroom door was rubbing on the rug. And I said, but no, I planned on my rug because this is how I want the bathroom to look. And I was like, let me tell you, this door gotta get cut shorter. So I called up my girlfriend who had a power saw and see me and my friend Lorna trying to cut the bathroom door. And I said, look, this is madness. And the two of we dissect that bathroom door, and next thing you know, the bathroom door started, the thing started flaking. And I said, look, see, this is where you're supposed to leave things to the people who really know how to do it. But in terms of even empowering women, there are a lot of things we need to learn. Care how to top up the oil, how to check the transmission fluid, there are so many skills that just by taking it now and packaging it and offering it in a different way, he don't have to sit down and build nothing. I remember when I first got my home, we got it was like a skeleton home, so to speak, and the kitchen cupboards, everything was basic, and I decided, well, I had dreamt about having my home for so long that I was just so fussy about what I wanted and all that. So you go through the magazines, you look at the house, and I knew what I wanted. So I knew I wanted a kitchen cupboard with a plate rack. Even though it wasn't a big home or it wasn't a big space, I still wanted that niceness. So Blaze and Williams used to sell these cupboards, these cupboard units in sections and stuff like that. So I went to Blaze and Williams and I bought the side for the glasses, the side for the teacups and things like that, and the plate rack and thing in the middle. I come home and me and my father put up the cupboard here. Years after, I decided, well, hey, I want it to look like an all-in-one unit, because it was just 3 different things that I just put side by side. So I called a carpenter now and asked him to come and, do a nice strip and, really ting it up and make it look nice for me and build a pantry and make it look like, thing. Carpenter step in the house, look at the cupboard, so, Cheryl, who put these cupboards? So I said, why? What happened? Why you ask? He said, Cheryl, no way, you know why who put up these? I said, me and my father. He said, I could tell. I said, how you could tell what happened? He said, got it upside down. I said, the got upside down and the downside up. I was like, he said, yeah, Cheryl, the cupboard door, the curved part of the door is supposed to be at the top. The straight bottom is supposed to be at the bottom. I was like, oh, Lord Jesus. You understand what I'm saying? Simple.
All you had to do is turn the doors upside down.
You understand? If I had known. If I had known. But I was clueless. You understand? I just figured, okay, yeah, up. And the cupboards are working very good. The doors upside down. I didn't have a clue. But it looked better when he turned it. I was like, oh, okay. And when you look at doors, when you buy doors and stuff, you would notice that the curve for real in the pattern is usually, But every skill that you have, every experience, every opportunity, when we talk about multiple streams of income, you can convert all those things. But the first thing I want you to do when I talk about know your numbers is know how many they are, know what they are, because each of them can become an income stream for you. So part of know your numbers is to write down the talents, the skills, the opportunities and experiences that you have had. Okay? So that's important. Now, then you decide, after you've listed them, you decide which ones you want to use as streams of income. I remember last year, out of one of our prayer sessions, God just said to me, okay, I'm giving you 7 streams of income. You see that prayer that I prayed this evening, along the lines of Psalm 1, should be like a tree planted by the rivers of waters whose leaves do not wither. Now, that psalm, there's a wealth component to that psalm that talks about the streams of water, the sources of income. So he should be like a tree planted by rivers of water, where you're being fed by different sources, different water sources, different streams of income. So I remember that last year, God gave me very clearly 7 streams of income. All right, 7 streams of income. And as I As I looked at the streams and I prayed more on it, he gave me specifically how much was going to come from each stream and how to organize each stream. Okay? So as you list your skills, your opportunities, your talents, and so on, this is why you're doing it, so that you can identify your streams. Okay? Now, the next list I want you to do for me is to make a list of all the people that you know. And I want to give you a challenge of writing a list of 100 names. Remember that thing, 1 can chase 1,000, 2 can chase 10,000, and so on. And I showed you the chart, 1, 10, 100, 1,000, and so on. I want you to start at 100 names. Give yourself the challenge of writing 100 people that you know. I am not going to make it even specific to that you know that need this or need that, or we're not going to narrow it down yet. Just try to come up with 100 people that you know. Why? Why are people important? People represent a source for you. People represent the source of your opportunities. People represent a source for your income. Now, wherever it is that you're going, whatever it is that you're doing, one of the aspects of that will not change is that aspect of people. You need people and people need you. Okay? Now, last week I talked about Sankofa, the Ghanaian bird that represents going back into the past to get the things that we need to bring forward to the present. Who are those people from your past that you need to write down, that you need to go back to, that can serve you or that you can serve in terms of where you are heading to, that journey that you're going on, that destination that you want to arrive at? Who are those people? So I want you to make a list of those people, and I'm going to tell you some strategies. If you start immediately within your community, within your family, then you go outside of that, you look at your work experience and so on, and look at people that you've come into contact with, look at the organizations you belong to, church and so on, they're different organizations, and start to document. Because oftentimes when we connect with people, we are not as conscious as we should be about the purposes, about the opportunities as it relates to earning money. All right? Everybody that you come into contact with is important. Everybody that you come into contact with may either be important from the perspective that they need the service that you are offering, or they may know somebody who needs it. Either way, a person might not be, there's some people who say, I can't stand the people in my neighborhood at all. People in my neighborhood don't support me. They don't sell nothing. They don't buy nothing from me. I've heard people say that. Okay, fine. There are people in my neighborhood who don't buy from me. But I can tell you that they tell people though what I do. I can tell you that when somebody comes through the neighborhood or comes and say, I'm looking for the lessons teacher, they can direct them to my house. You understand what I'm saying? So they might not themselves buy from you, but they might serve your business and serve you in ways that if you had to go and stand up at the bottom of the gap and do that, then you couldn't certainly be doing what you're doing also. You understand what I'm saying? There are people in your neighborhood that might not like you. They might just mention your name in terms of gossip. But I say all the time, they're doing my marketing. Whether they're doing it good or bad, they're talking about me. At the end of the day, somebody will go away knowing about me who did not know about me before. Simple. However you twist it or turn it, people are critical. People are important. Now, understanding how to connect with people, understanding how to convert those connections, understanding, as Bernard said, paper, pen, understanding that every time you connect with people, you want to build a database. You want to build a database. You want to also have in your arsenal, there's a little telephone and directory book. Even if you want to start out that simple, that basic, because we all have cell phones now, we can put them into our cell phones and so on. But if you wanted to have a tangible something you can write in, which I do believe in having that traditional model and then adding anything else to it. You can have the small telephone and telephone address and directory. And what I would do is just write names and numbers, names and numbers, names and numbers. Now, I also come from a background of being an insurance agent. So that was also important in my day-to-day work. And I remember when my bag was stolen, one of the miracles that I experienced, when the person tried to, because I prayed a prayer, a very intentional prayer, to get back my bag. I said, Lord, I don't expect to get the money back. I can make back the money. I can get back that. That's fine. But what I can't get back is the gifts that were in the bag that people gave me, that I treasured. And I wanted back the bag, and I wanted, there was a cologne that a guy had given me, a really, really expensive cologne. And then there was a purse, a lamb purse, that my first boyfriend from school had given me. And I wanted back those two things in particular. And then I wanted my makeup. I was like, but no, my lipstick, I want back my makeup and stuff. And I was so intentional. I said, Lord, no. I read about miracles in the Bible and things like that, but I want back that bag. And the bag itself was a gift also. I remember praying this prayer and asking God to give me back my bag. And it wasn't like, dear Lord, give me back my bag. It was like, Lord, I want back my bag. The earth will stop if I don't get back my bag. It was one of those kind of prayers. And before the end of the day, I got a call from Marcia, who used to run, well, I don't know if she's still there. She ran One Accord Plaza for Mrs. Stewart in Jackson. She called me and said, Cheryl, I get a funny call just now. Somebody called me and told me that they find your bag with all the things skin out under window, and they want your number from me. And I said, Marcia, you give me the number? No, but it sounds real weird. I'm like, no. The same book I told you about, no, remember, I said I had in my bag a book with names and numbers. So the person was looking in that book and calling people in that book to find me. So Marcia was, because I had a business, Trinity Beauty Spa and Salon was my business that was in One Accord Plaza at the corner right there where they have the insurance agency and all that. No, I was the first person who had that when that plaza was first done. I think so. I was one of their tenants, so I had their names in there. So that's how the person was able to call Marcia. So when she called me, she said, no, she didn't give it. I said, Lord, you did it once, you can do it twice. Let that person go back in that book and call somebody else who will call me, right? And so said, so done. By the time I got home, my neighbor came over across the street, Elvin Cullimore, and called me and said, Cheryl, somebody here on the line, they said they find your bag. And I come in. And I went straight over by his house and spoke to the person, got the directions, and I went and I got back my bag, and I got back everything else except the money. Everything else. Being very specific and intentional, it works, right? Now, knowing the people, I had a list of all those people in those books, in that book. Sometimes I will have 2 and 3 of them. So whenever you step out, have that as a plan. Whenever you meet people, get that contact number, get that name, store it, right? The other place that you can go to get names and numbers also is your email. Go into your email addresses. If you are in organizations, you're in groups, you will find that a lot of people email you and they will send you the email they send to you, they send to 20 or 30 other people. So you are collecting email addresses unconsciously. Now, if you know there's a business that does selling online, we all get it in our emails. It's a listing. I can't remember the name right now. I'll have to look at my phone. But that business that does email blasting, that's how they collect emails. That's how they build a business off of email blasting. Just by collecting email addresses, and starting to advertise businesses and send them to those email addresses and charging people for it. $100 for one email blast, though. And as a matter of fact, if you're in the technology world, we learn the power of one email address. Each email address is worth $100. That's why online you will see they would all the time you will see like websites and things, they will ask you for your email address. There's a reason for that, because every email address in the online world is worth $100 US. That's the value of it. So a business now that has tons and tons of email addresses, you know the word for that. That's how when you see like videos that do advertising and you see advertising and marketing on certain pages, that's why. Because that email address real estate is actually people. And a email address is a person. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why it's worth $100, right? So those are some of the ways that you can help to increase that list. So 100 people, challenge yourself to make that list of at least 100 people. Okay? So that's where we want to start in terms of knowing our numbers. Knowing our numbers. The homework is very specific. You have your bag, start packing your bag. Start doing the preparation for this trip, for where you want to go. Start putting together the information about who you are, and make sure you can say in a statement that people can easily remember and repeat what you've said, right? So in other words, you brand yourself so that people can then come to you for the services that they need, because you are putting yourself out there. You are putting it out there that this is what I am providing for you. This is who I am. Because as long as you do it and you keep doing it, you then become your brand. As Judy said, she became her brand. An intentional decision to dress a certain way, she became this. People looked at her and assumptions were made. You're the manager. You're the thing. Okay, so you're working in this job and this, so you deserve better. Come, let me do you a favor, man, and promote you and take you out of this situation. That's how it happens. That's how it happens. So I want us to do those things. And as we continue next week, we're going to continue on knowing your numbers. And there's some other aspects, some other things that you need to collect, but I'm just going to give you that time to actually do this first part of it. So during this week, these are the things that we want to be working on. Okay? So that's it from me. I just want to open the floor for any questions, any comments, anything that you want to talk about that impacted you, any takeaways. Anybody? Okay. Everybody's quiet this evening.
I didn't want to talk, but I'm trying to get it possible to use one hand, right? So
Okay.
a bit uncomfortable. Right, in terms of what you said you want us to do about what is it now? Who am I? No, where am I going? Or which way is it again?
Yes. Who are you for the destination that you're going to?
Ouch, the destination. Sometimes I just keep saying, I still really not sure. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But from hearing what you said about yours and then hearing Bernard as well, I have a passion, right, for to see or to help young people, or even women,
Mm-hmm.
be the best version of themselves, right? And I come along hearing all the time, you like a good counselor, you're like a good counselor. That will be hearing all the time. But I remember on many occasions when I try to sign up for those classes, at Earlston and so on, then you'll find they'll always hear there's not enough persons, so they're not holding it, and you hear that BCC, and then because I hear it constantly, it's like I don't pursue it anymore. But persons keep telling me so all the time, man, you like a good counselor, man, you get good information, and you listen as well, you let help people, encourage them, along the educational path, academic path, and spiritually as well, and even in sports. So there's something, it sounds like, to me, in my study, it's a confused study, you don't know exactly really what it is, really want to go, it's really
okay, what I want you to do for me, Judy, then, is to write that all down. That is how I can identify
all that confusion?
what I can identify with all that confusion, because there is a myth You see why you call it confusion is because there's this myth that says, oh, if you're doing too many things, or you're thinking about you're what is the jack of all trade, you're jack of all,
Phrase a master.
a master none. But that's not true. The day that I figured out that was a lie was the best day in my life. That's not true. So that's how I came up with, listen to me. Hi, my name is Cheryl Outram. I'm a teacher, pastor, HR consultant, and personal development coach. So when you write them down. It might sound confusing, it might sound disjointed or disconnected, but when the first layer is to be aware, to write them down, and then you can organize them. So teacher, pastor, HR consultant, and personal development coach. It is only when I started to write them down and organize them that I realized how connected they were. What's the connecting factor?
With yours?
Yeah, what's the connecting? What are the common denominators or the common factors?
I see yours is teaching, caring.
So teacher, pastor, HR consultant, and personal development coach. What's the common denominator? People.
To other people in all circumstances.
People, helping people. Even though they're different, they're all centered around helping people, teaching people, educating people, elevating people, caring for people. So even though they sounded different, because at one point I thought, oh, you can't put teacher, pastor, what are you doing? But no. A lot of my teaching involves pastoral care. When my students come in and they're having a meltdown, I got put on the pastor hat. When I start a session and I realize, well, everybody quiet and nobody think, that pastoral gifting will come to the fore, and I will start to nurture. I will start to care. I will start to shepherd. How are you? What's going on with your soul? I'm going to start to feed the spirit, because once the spirit is fed, then I can get back what I need from you so that I could go to the educational part, right? So first thing is to write down what you just said to me. Now, in terms of the counseling that you want to do, the program that you want to do, the course that you want to do, I'm going to give you some options for courses, different, because there are many courses online that you can actually do counseling and not have the hassle and the stress of, as you said, UE and stuff like that, and still be certified. And not just be certified, but be globally certified.
Okay.
So that problem will be solved very, very easily. And a lot of them are not even as expensive as even the UE courses and stuff like that. All right?
Okay. Great.
So write them down. First, identify all of those things. So good evening, Marcia. Thanks for joining. Now, we were discussing knowing your numbers this evening, and I've asked persons to do a number of things. One, you're supposed to get a bag, Marcia, and you're supposed to, this bag represents the journey that you're going on in this program. You're preparing yourself for the destination that you're going to. So similarly, if you were traveling, how you would have to get that suitcase and pack that suitcase, and you would pack the things in that based on where you're going. Obviously, if you're going to a cold climate, you're gonna have to take your winter clothing and so on. If you're going to a warmer climate, you're not gonna need your winter clothes and so on. So depending on what your destination is, where it is that you want to go, who it is that you want to become, you have to get a bag, physical bag this evening. I hope everybody got their bags, and for those of you whose cameras are on, put your cameras on and show us your bags, or next week when you come, have that bag. So this is my bag, and what I will be putting in there, I'll be getting strips of paper and writing on paper what I need to take with me, what I need to become, because it's who you need to become, what you need to do, and what you need to earn, right? So, because if you're preparing for a trip and you're going somewhere, you might want to buy this, you might want to, you're going to bring back a gift from Miss Outram, so you have to have money to do that. So you have to have a comprehensive plan. So that is what you're going to put into that bag. Right?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, please.
My husband gonna get a bag too? Cause
Well, yes.
there's a husband who thing or
But no,
wait,
bag. He getting his own bag and you getting yours because you ain't putting the tampons and he buy. He getting his bag and you getting yours.
I would never do that. But man, he want if he gonna get one and buy, cause I buy the whole thing.
This is my female bag, but that's why I said he could get what, because you see that's the thing, it's a personal journey. So if he want his trip to be sports, he could get a sports bag. If he wanted to be a haversack, he could get a haversack. It doesn't matter what it contains. It doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what you're traveling with. It doesn't matter if you're traveling light or traveling heavy, but you must have a container that will hold those things because you are preparing for a journey. The seminar is called Level Up. You can't go through this and still remain where you are. We have to take off. We have to know the destination that we have in mind. This is where I want to end up. If I want to leave Barbados now, part of my plan is to go to South Africa. Okay? If I want to leave Barbados and go to South Africa, I have to prepare. And I have to identify that I'm going to South Africa because going to South Africa is not the same thing as going to the Caribbean. You understand what I'm saying? So what I would put in the bag for South Africa is different to the bag that I would pack just to go next door to St. Vincent. You understand what I'm saying? I'm part of ministry with a lady, Prophetess Natasha. They're planning a missionary trip currently to Jamaica for October. And all we have to do is to pay our plane fare. All they need us to do is to turn up in Jamaica. The hosting couple, they had a meeting this evening and they were saying, listen, we're going to take care of you. We're going to facilitate you. Their home, they can hold 30 plus people in their home in Jamaica. And somebody because we have people from all across the world, somebody from, I think this lady was from India. She was asking what's the climate like, what does she need to pack and so on. And that happened and I was like, oh, see, that's exactly it. So a lot of times we do it when we are preparing for physical trips. But when we want to become something, when we know that we want to change, when we know, hey, I just what I want to do, this actually what I want, the career that I want, we don't think of it in the same way. So you must put those things in that bag. You must have that same checklist. You must take yourself just as serious, right? You don't want to be pregnant knowing that in 9 months you are going to have the baby. You're going to have to go to the hospital for delivery, and you don't have a suitcase back. You don't have not even a towel. You don't have a niggle. Like, seriously? You don't have any clothes for the baby? So similarly, we have to take ourselves seriously and prepare for that trip. Prepare for the destination that we're going to. We're leveling up. We're leveling up. We're not preparing for who we are now. Because if we do that, then there's going to be no change. Right? But we're preparing for who we have to become, for that final destination. For Bernard, if his final destination is doing live conferences across the world, Bernard gotta get back his suits. He has to get back his ties. He has to get back the rudiment of being organized and being business oriented. A pair of slippers ain't gonna cut it. You got to cut your hair. You got to shave. There's simple little basics that you got to decide. Oh, okay. You have to manage your time. You have to start putting yourself back out there for that destination. Right? You have to then start talking back to the people. Okay, so if I'm going to be doing international conferences, global conferences, and so on, like, who are the people that I need to talk to? Who are the organizations, or what organizations do I need to align myself with? What organizations do I need to volunteer with? Who do I need to serve so that it helps to align me with that destination. Right? Simple example, Judy. I met Judy Maskell in one of my classes. She was one of the persons who signed up for community development course. I met Judy. And we used to have, I don't know which was better, but after our classes, we would have these discussions about women. And Judy is really passionate. I mean, really, really passionate about women and relationships and relationship talks. You know, if it's one person I could count on that can hang it there with me, it's Judy, right? And that's how we met. And that's how we connected, based on that passion for relationship discussions. So I can't tell this, Judy, there's a year, no 2 years that I've known you. I don't know how long, but I know she was somebody who was going in my bag with me. I don't know if she felt the same way, but I know for sure when this course ended, when this course done, this is somebody I want to go with me in my future. This is somebody I won't be able to have the access to every day. You understand what I'm saying?
Seriously.
So, and remember I talked to you about making the list and creating the numbers. Every time I do a class, I create a WhatsApp group. Y'all don't want to see what my phone look like. I know there's some people who message me and think, well, wait, mama respond to me. Y'all don't want to see my phone? You can imagine 10 years of doing this and creating a WhatsApp group for every place that I've taught and every group of people. So if I'm teaching, I've taught in Greens and St. George as well. I forgot some of the places I've taught. So if I'm teaching, let's say, this, sometimes I have 6, 8, 10 classes. So I will have business and office administration. I have one for rices. I have one for Black Bass. I have one for Spikestown. I would have introduction to information technology for Warrens. You understand what I'm saying? I have a rices 10 to 12 on Monday, Wednesday, then I have a 6 to 8 on Tuesday and Fridays. Then I have a business office administration for Parkinson. Then I have one for Parkinson. Then I have one for Deacons. Right? Talia is part of my Deacons group. You understand what I'm saying? Every time I do that, I create a WhatsApp group. So when you talk about people and access to people, now they gotta go into that 100 list. Trust me, I know where to go. Right? There was a point where I didn't have enough space to store all the names, so the phone told me, oh, you gotta buy more space. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to create a system to store the people that you come into contact with. Some of the people who were in classes with me are also in this session. When I connected with Judy, I did not know the fullness of who Judy was or what she does. But then from our little, and this is why it is important that you write down who you are. You know, sometimes I wish I could flog adults. Even though I don't believe in lash, I've never lashed a student, right? But they got some adults like Minister Hetty. Minister Hetty. No, Minister Hetty. No, seriously. Because, like, you know, simple things. Watch it. You see, write down who you are. For you. This is not for the other outside people yet. This is like the expanded one. I told you how to write. Write down who you are for you. So that you can become who you are. That final destination. Now, I have my classes. And I give them, I mean, my students will tell you, sometimes I go a half an hour more teaching, whatever. I don't count my teaching time. It's up to them to tell me when class done, right? But I started off by doing a little 5-minute snippet, a 15-minute. Because if it's something you're passionate about, it costs you nothing to do it for free. Well, it's who you are. You can imagine you're pretty, you decide, well, if you're pretty, you're pretty. You don't have to look pretty. You are already pretty. So if you are already passionate, you're an educator, that's who you are. So it's not going to cost you anything to do it. I have never lost weight because I've been doing too much of it, right? So these little 5-minute, 15-minute sessions of talking with my students, I mean, we used to have so much fun. Sometimes all 8, 9, no, this class will finish at 8, 8:30, whatever, 9, 10 o'clock, sometimes 11 o'clock. We still plenty people talking. And then Judy invited me to talk to one of her groups, right? And I said yes. Not really having an idea. I mean, Judy tricked me, you know. Judy said, just a group of us who we seniors get together and exercise. That's what you told me, Judy. Be honest now. Tell them.
Sorry, go again.
Tell them what you tell me, Judy. I said you tricked me. You told me, it's just a small group of us who exercise and we come together and we do sports. Like, tell them how you trick me.
Why did not trick you? Has it tricked you? I knew that you were capable of dealing with situations, so I have nothing to worry about.
So,
If you have a little confident mission, you handle it well.
so she told me, just a little group of us who think. And I said, sure. Because she asked me if I would talk to the women and if I would think. I said, sure, yes. You know? And then she was asking me how much it would cost. And then we were like, but she said, well, they might not be able to pay it out. I said, all right, no problem. We care. I can just do it. Lo and behold, I go on to do the session. And who should I see but Ed Bushell, one of the foreign directors of BARP. And I'm like, but she didn't tell me this. And I meet Ed Bushell, the pastor from Jackson, what's his name again? Pastor Patrick Drake. And I see all these big wigs. And I was like, but she told me it's just a little group of seniors that's exercise. So you understand what I'm saying? Take no opportunity for granted. Take no individual for granted because you don't know who they're connected to. When I put on my camera, they Pastor Drake started smiling. Pastor Drake's baptized. All three of my children were baptized together. Pastor Drake's baptized one of my children. Right?
I knew who you were, so I didn't have to worry. So, hey, I knew who you were.
Right.
Haven't been with your leadership for a couple about 9 months or plus a year.
Exactly.
I knew, so.
Exactly. And I did not do it for that. If you understand, you understand what I'm saying. I didn't do it for that. I didn't do it for any particular, I just did it because I love it and I want to do it with these people. And Judy like talking about it. And Judy said, I like that. You can't do it some more. And then we start doing it all the time. And then I was like, well, when the class done, what I can do? So then I was like, no, boy, I gotta get Judy. I got her number. I gotta be able to reach out to her or whatever. And obviously, from a professional standpoint, I don't want cross boundaries either because I don't want people to feel, invaded on our part. But we connected because we had a similar passion. You understand what I'm saying? So it is important to start putting the processes in place. Minister Hetty has one of the things I noticed, she has a vibrant Facebook following. There are people that I know that I saw on her Facebook who she would come and she would do these little talks. And I see people responding, asking questions. And I was like, wait, she know that she got a whole, that man is what do you call it now? He's not atheist. He is oh gosh. What's the other word for them? They believe in the science of religion more so than Christianity and all that. And I saw this man on her page and interacting with her, and I just smiled. And I said, wait, you know who this person lives in Brazil? This person is very well connected in Brazil. And this person is engaging her. Big Lord Tran, connected in Brazil. He is the word just won't come to me. But that's the audience. When I looked at the audience and the influence, I was like, she understands who she talking to and the number of people that engaging and talking to her. Take nothing for granted. So even if you have to just go back to your Facebook page, it may be as simple as go on your Facebook and sit down and start writing down some names. Start private messaging some people and connecting to them one-on-one and collecting their numbers and so on and so forth. And things. The people are all around you. Right? So that was my experience with Judy. And another occasion that happened recently, I have a student who I do one-on-one lessons with. And an organization, a gentleman who, life is funny. A policeman that I'm connected to here connected me to this little boy and said, listen, I know the only body who can help this little boy is you. I need some help with this little boy. The mother ain't ready thing and the father thing. I need you to, I can talk to the mother, I can tell her and you, and I know that you can work out something for me. He connected me. It so happened that a man from France who had come here with an organization and visited the little boy's school, fell in love with the little boy and said, whatever this little boy needs, I can pay for it. So when I connected with the parents and I realized the situation and so on, I talked to him and I said, okay, this is how I can help you. This is what I will do or whatever. And I started doing it. There was no money involved. But when the man found out that he was doing it, the man said, no, tell her send the price, send the invoice to the organization. I'll pay for it. And that's how it happened, right? And coming out of that, so check the layers. So this is why you see what I said, teacher, pastor, HR, whatever. It might sound confusing, but it's who you are. It's what God has placed on the inside of you. So after doing that, the lady who is responsible for communicating with me in terms of the money and making sure I get paid, I sent her an email. Now let me show y'all all the inside stuff. Wait, excuse me a minute. And these are all the things that people don't usually tell you. As Bernard said, you go to a lot of seminars, but you still don't know what to walk away and do. Just water, please. So I sent her an email. I would normally email her the invoice and stuff like that. And she messaged me and said, could you come and talk to me? Can y'all see my screen? Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
That comes at the bottom of my email from my movement, the Share movement. Cool. So I had set this up as my, where you can put your signature at the bottom of your email. This is my signature at the bottom of my email. And this idea did not originate with me, right? I have to be honest enough and tell you it did not originate with me. You know who that idea originated from? My daughter. My daughter structured all of her emails to say who she was. And did all, and it was, normally we would just say, yours truly, kind regards, Cheryl Outram or whatever. My daughter said, no, tell a story at the bottom. And she taught me this. So I followed suit and I designed mine. And the lady messaged me and said, oh, I saw at the bottom of your email that you do coaching and you deal with things, relationships and things like that. You know that I didn't even, I bet she said it. She said, I saw that you do so and so and so. So I was like, she saw that I do it, but I never had this kind of interaction with her. How she know this? How she see this? That's what I'm asking myself. And then she said, I saw, she mentioned the email. So that's when I realized, oh, okay, that's what she means. But I did not even remember. So when I went back and checked, I said, oh, this is how she got it, where she got it from. And she asked me then to come and do a presentation for the Kiwanis for Valentine's Day. So something as simple as this, our vision. Couples must be assisted, equipped, and empowered to achieve oneness, not just togetherness. Our vision is to be the leading Christian family-oriented organization in relationship coaching. Website, Facebook, Instagram, email, contact number. Something as simple as that can open doors to you and give you connections. So again, because of that, I was then introduced to another group of people. And after doing the presentation and stuff, they had an awards ceremony on Thursday gone, and they messaged me, oh, can you attend our awards ceremony? We would love you to join our unit, and so on and so forth. Simple ways, without you having to hustle anybody. Just develop you, do you, pack that bag, prepare that bag, and begin. Every time you go in there, you look at something, just do it, that you can check it off of your list, right? And little by little, that is how you elevate. That is how you then, step by step, the needle point moves. This is how you make the needle point moves to become what you want to become. You might be in a job and you might know, look, I want to earn more. I don't want financial surprises anymore, right? This is how you elevate. This is how you level up, by first identifying what does that final destination look like. Okay? Anybody else? So pack your bags with the things you need to prepare, and you have to write a list of at least 100 people that you know. 100 people. Make that list. I would have shared earlier about I'm going to give you the template for the cash flow document, And I want you to get your diaries so that you can document, so that you can become more structured, so that you can see what you are doing with your life on a daily basis. When I first did that first diary after my father, because it came out of my father's death when I had to plan his funeral and I had to organize things in his life. For his funeral, I was my father's first child. He was 53, and I was his first child at 53. And because I didn't live with him for a lot of his life, when he died, there were things about his life that I had to figure out and put together for the funeral. And I was able to do it because of the little pieces of paper that he left behind. My father he had his suits. He was a Christian person. So he had his church suits and stuff. And in his suit pockets, Daddy had certain documents and things stored. And when I went back to those things, I still have them today. I could see the bills, the things he bought, who he bought it from, what quantities, when he bought the stuff for the house in Britain. So when he did this and when he did, I could see all that stuff. And I thought, it made life easier for me. By taking all those written things and putting together, I knew a lot more about who my father was. And it is from that God said to me, see this? See how your father has left those little notes, and see that? That's what I've left for you in the Bible. That's what I've given you as a written record. And in so doing, I want you to create a written legacy for your children. When you go on, your children should be able to come back to a specific place and know who you are and what you did and how you did it. So that, like how you had to do for your father, where you had to put it all together, you now put it together and put it together in the diary. So every year since then, I've been keeping diaries, and I would write every day what I would do. Whatever I do, I would write it in my diary. And I remember, because it was a level, part of that process was to help me to become who I had to become. And I had committed to being honest and writing everything that I did in that diary. And then I realized that there were some days that I did some things I couldn't write in diary. And then it hit me, well, Cheryl, if you cannot write it, if your children can't read about it, then should you really be doing it? Right? And that is how I started then to change and to become. I then had to become everything that I could write down in the diary. I had to start then. No. Everything has to go into that diary. When I go, my children must be able to look back and read. They every day they must understand. So that if they reach up or all everything, they must be able to look back and know, okay, wait, hold on, mommy only had $50 there. What? So how did she spend this $50? Or, okay, so this is how she got it, and this is the process. Written legacies for your children. So there's a lot of value in doing that. Because sometimes you're not, even the people that you love, sometimes you're not able in your own lifetime to communicate your heart to them, to communicate, Cheryl, this is why I did this, or this is what I was doing for you. My father bought a house when he heard that my mother was pregnant, because he so wanted a child. When he heard my mother was pregnant with me, my father went and bought a house before I was born for me. And Daddy and I, even though we spent a lot of time together, we did not have I did not get a lot of the wisdom that I needed for my adult life from him. But as I reflected and I looked back, I realized, hey, Daddy was doing it though, and he was teaching me without communicating it, but he was doing it. So then little things, like I told you, like how he would say, don't break your plate back on the road. You know, like how you eating on the road would be scorned, or if you're a lady, don't eat on the street. Don't break your plate back on the street. I remember Daddy had a lime tree, mango tree, different trees. He would plant trees around the house and stuff. And on mornings, before he go to work, we would have to pick up mangoes and the limes and things and fill these buckets, and he would put them in the back of the car and take them out with him. And he would take those into Budge Bay. And I would see this, I was a little girl, and I would see this thing happening where the people would take these things and weigh them or count them. And for me, it's like a waste of my time. I won't go to school, and mangoes smell stink. Somebody be picking up mangoes and my hands getting dirty and all that. I thought, that's slave work. That's how I felt back then. But then one day my father said to me, I remember I was just buying my house and everything. I was struggling. I couldn't figure out how to get everything paid for. My father said, you see you went to school, but you ain't got much sense, because you waste bare money. Because where's my father taking up a nail off your ground and straightening it out? And he got 4 houses. I ain't got time for that. I'm going to buy another pack of nails. What pack of nails? What pack of nails can kill me? And Daddy said, but you went to school, but you ain't got much sense. You're wasting your money. I said, Daddy, what do you mean? What happened? He said, me to do something, right? See them mangoes and limes and things that you used to pick up. That's how I used to pay my road tax, my insurance and things. I never pay my money from my salary, never pay them things. It get paid out and I'm like, all them things that I never had to wet or water, whatever. You want to pick them up, put them, okay, carry them by supermarket. People just collect them and you used to sit and give me a piece of paper. That was the invoice with the amount of money that I would get at the end of the month or whenever the check ready. So every day, mangoes and limes, mangoes and limes. Remember I told you all about the trick my mother did with me. I feel fussy, I educated, I trying to do back something for my mother because she sent me to school and I want to thank her. I carry the lady, trained that lady had more spending money than me from selling peas. From selling peas. So it doesn't matter. If you get serious, if we take ourselves seriously, we can certainly elevate, we can level up, we could go to the next level. Because whereas we might be thinking you need to do a lot or you need to, nah, might be something so simple. So simple. Right? If you get one thing working for you, just reproduce that. One thing, and reproduce it. All right? It might be simple as going out to your yard and saying, hey, you know, somebody want 20 buckets and they planted 20 pepper trees. And I supply in a little supermarket in my neighborhood with peppers. It might not be enough money to buy a house, but like my father said, you add up that pepper money for the year, that can pay your land tax without you having to take money out of your salary then to pay your land tax. So it's little things like that. I mean, I haven't done it all yet. Like I said, you can learn things, get it, and still not convert it to action. But those are some of the things that, yeah, but Daddy did it. Daddy showed me that thing. I need to go and do those things. Who you see going outside and wet a pea tree? But look at what peas sell for in the supermarket, right? Every Easter, my mother used to say, you plant peas on Good Friday. Every Good Friday, like says, we got to be out in the ground. Out in the ground. And you got to dig up, scratch off, plant the pea, and cover it with the thing off. She used to say, plant on Good Friday, and she had a cycle. My mother knows the whole cycle of planting and when to plant what and whatever. Oh, Lord, I got to get that information from her and record it. And all through the year, she would say, yes, you plant on Good Friday, you have peas all through the year. That's what she used to say. Peas all through the year. Even though my mother had a study job, she used to pick those peas, shell them. My aunt used to work at the hospital, and she used to send the peas up to my aunt to sell to her friends who worked at the hospital. So she just needed to find people who had a salary, who had money that would pay. She didn't need the pea money was extra. It was solid. It was money she used then. My mother said, well, look, when she was building the house and things, she would take that pea money and buy blocks. She would buy blocks. Or she would buy some pipes of cement and stuff like that. So it was extra. Right? My mother's house is bigger than mine. My mother never never completed school or anything like that. Never had a mortgage for her house. You understand what I'm saying? So it is that wisdom. It is those actions that we want to leverage. So as you document who you want to become and the destination that you are heading towards, understand that you don't have to have a traditional mindset to achieve it or to become it. Next week, part of the process we're going to be doing our resumes and our CVs. And many people feel as though, well, I don't have a bachelor's, I don't have this, I don't have that, so therefore my CV don't look good, or, you know, I my CV, but no, I'm going to show you how to do that CV so that it helps you for where you're going to next. All right, so do the activities. I am thinking what I would love to do, with your permission, is to create the group for this particular seminar, so that even during the week I can share little tidbits with you and keep you motivated and keep you, keep your minds focused on this. Remember why we're doing this. Make money, change lives. Remember I was talking about a statement this evening? Simple statement. Make money, change lives. 4 words. That's what I'm about with this. Make money, change lives. Okay, so a lot of us struggle with making money or having a lot of money or but why? Why do you want to do it? Because you want to change your own life, you want to change your children's lives, you want to be able to change lives within your community and even globally. make money change lives. Okay? So I just want to thank you for all of you who attended, all of you who participated. Those of you who didn't share anything or say anything, if you want an opportunity to do so, feel free to do so. And then we're going to be wrapping up. But certainly we're going to that next level, right? We're going to that next level. All right. Talia, anything that you wanted to share? Anything? What did you take away? Anything that resonated specifically with you?
Good night.
Good night.
Earlier you were speaking about your talent to see things in people, and sometimes it can be, I don't want to say off-putting, but it can shake you sometimes, especially when you don't see those things for yourself. For example, the conversation we were having differently, and to be quite honest with you, is kind of nerve-wracking for you to see certain things that I can't, probably because my mental is shocked or whatever the situation might be, but trying to change gears and see myself from your perspective, that's kind of where I am right now.
I love that. And thank you for saying that and owning that and confessing that. Very, very important. I'll show you something. I had a situation where, let me see if I can find it. When you talk about seeing yourself and how you see yourself versus how other people see you. I remember years ago, whenever I'm talking to a man or a man talking to me and thing, I somehow, no matter what the conversation was about, we could be talking about apples, we could be talking about a trip to Timbuktu, whatever. No matter what the conversation was about, at some point in time, I would mention something about the size of my stomach. And I remember the same gentleman I was talking about I saw in Hetty's thing. Remember one time he said to me, he said, listen, I want you to stop that. When I see you, that's not what I see. I notice it because you say, stop it. Don't ever mention it anymore. Because you're drawing attention to something that we are not focused on. And he was the person who taught me that how I see myself, the lens through which I am looking are totally different from the lens that somebody else is looking at me with. He taught me that. At first I was not even accepting of what he was saying because I was so locked in that place of, no, but it's a problem because I know what my weight was before. I know what I looked like before, right? So for me, it was a big deal. People who didn't know me from before couldn't care less. They have nothing to compare me to. So whereas it's a big deal for me because I know me and I am looking at myself through the lens of my experiences, the persons who are looking at me don't have those same lens. So understand that, and based on what you said, what I had to do was to begin to accept what people said they saw in me. I had to grow. It's like, as a little girl or a little boy, boys did it too, I guess. Where you would put on your mother's shoes, and those shoes would be so big for you that sometimes they would make you fall down. That's kind of how it feels, Talia. But I had to start walking in those shoes, even though what people saw in me and what people called me out as was bigger than how I saw myself. I had to start walking in those shoes. I had to start walking. Right? So this is the same thing that I'm asking you to do. Don't negotiate with it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Begin to own it. Because one of the things and we're going to come to this next week in terms of what people are saying. It is so important, the power of a testimonial. I had to learn that what I think about myself is not as important as what other people think about me. You know, people will say what people say about you is none of your business. There's a flip side of that, though. There are things that people are saying about you that can help elevate you and push you to the next level. Now, this is one of my clients who did a testimonial for me. And this is what he wrote. And I remember when I asked him, because I asked him for the testimony, he said, oh, you want me to put it on my business letterhead? And I wasn't even thinking that. I wasn't expecting that. And I was saying, yeah, sure, thanks, you know. And this is the testimonial he did for me. So I'm sharing this with you so you understand what you're saying to Leah, right? I had to step in. I had to get comfortable in what somebody else was saying to me or the level. Because when I asked him for it, I'm just thinking, okay, you know, maybe personal thing, just no paper, none of the thing, just, you know, thing. But this is what he did. So I had to step up and accept. But this is what he's saying about you. Why do you want him to minimize or size down his interpretation or his reception of who you are and what you would have done? Right? So it might not be comfortable at first. It might be off-putting. But listen to what people are saying about you and own it. And it might be a compliment or it might be a criticism. Because even if it's a criticism, it is still something that you can work with, that you can use then to your advantage. I remember there was a point in my life where my mother used to say, you talk too much. Because once I want a good critic, I could go to my mother. Anytime I want to know what I'm doing wrong and want somebody to criticize me, call my mother. Guaranteed you can get it. Right? I remember one time I went down by her, took the children to look for her and stuff. And I didn't have the children here. I didn't do the girls here. And I had owned Trinity Beauty Spa in thing. I get out of the Jeep, step by the woman door, children come in. My mother does all the like children here. This how when the mother got one here. Esther, my mother was the same time. I ain't getting house here. Esther, come. I want you to help me here. I want you to come and plop the grandchildren here. Just so. Call across the next door neighbor. Then, woman plop my children here in front of me. I mean, it wasn't like that's it comes. And she paid the woman, right? So it might be a criticism, but even on those, because whatever that criticism is, it is something that can help you, that you can shape, that you can work to your advantage. My mother used to say, I used to talk too much. I used to feel bad when she used to say, you think I feel bad anymore? I don't feel bad anymore, because the day that I learned that motivational speakers are, the lowest they're paid is $150 an hour, and that somebody wrote me and asked me to do a session for them. And when I was saying, well, I didn't know how to charge and whatever, and they said, oh, we normally pay about $1,500 or so. $1,500 I mean one time just for me to come and talk? I said, sure. Let me tell you. You understand what I'm saying? Even that criticism, it might come from the person to you as a criticism, but it might be the very thing that you need to turn that key in your own life. So own it. Because what people are your mirrors, and sometimes they're not a good reflection. You ever look in a dirty mirror, or you ever looked in a mirror that was kind of skewed or whatever? Sometimes how people see you or view you or what people say about you might not really be a true reflection. The mirror might need a little bit of cleaning or a little bit of polishing up. You understand what I'm saying? But as long as you get that reflection, as long as you get that feedback, you can then work with it. You can then begin to build on it. You might not see yourself in that way. You might even sometimes have to get back to that person and say, but okay, you said this about me. How can you help me? How do I move from here to there? Can you give me the steps? Simple, right? Simple as that. So the key there to Leah is to hear, record it, and then find out what you have to do to become it. And when I say become it because you think you're not it, but understand the person who said it to you already saw you as it. I remember years ago too, when I used to had a business on Spray Street, this guy Tony Thomas, who was a white realtor in Barbados, who had rented me this spaces on Spray Street, and then there's a daycare around the corner by Queen's Park. I mean, that building was for sale for years, and I wanted to buy that building and stuff, and somehow the people who had the thing wasn't moving out, and there was a lot of chaos with it. But I remember Tony invited me to come and speak to an audience, and Tony introduced me as the woman who sells ice to Eskimos. Now here's a white man, a real estate agent, who introduced me, a little black girl, as that. And when he did that to the audience, because I think it was an audience with business people, and there were a lot of Comerians and a lot of business executives and so on from Comerians and stuff and other agencies. And when he introduced me, he said that, and this is a Caucasian man, I had to step into I had to live up to what he was saying to these people. And why did he say that? Simply because when I was starting the business and I wanted to rent the location on Spry Street, he was like, but you can't do enough business in this type of business to make money to afford it, right? I mean, it was $1,725 on one floor, $1,000 for the other floor and stuff like that. So he was like, but no, this ain't you ain't the thing. I said, trust me. And then for summer, I rented the building beside it, which used to be like an old law firm kind of building. And he was like, but this is madness. I was like, trust me. And I remember when I had it on the next building, Tony was like, no, this is madness. You can't do this. I said, trust me. I said, I am going to have 100 students in that building for the summer. Because at that time, we used to have, summer used to be like 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks and stuff. And I done had planned out how much money I'm making in summer. So I don't know what he's talking about. I thought I'm going to have 100 people in that building for summer, right? $60 a week, 100 people doing math, so $6,000. Sign the lease. That's how I used to be talking to Tony. Sign the lease. I want the building. I just want for that period. And from doing that and him experiencing me in that way, that's how he introduced me. Because for summer, Tony came back and visited after I had the building and everything. And indeed, it was like 150 people in the building, children in the building. I remember when we used to take those children on tours through Bridgetown. One of my employees, people would say, oh, them children is yours, because everybody would dress in these camp shirts and things like that. And people was like, what's this, right? But when Tony came back, Tony at one point too, even the building, the flooring started to give way. He had to relocate me and find another building and stuff for the children. I was in New York. My staff working, I get a call, flooring, I said, well, call Tony. He goes, off it. I'm in New York. I can't come back now. And he relocated me up to a building, Socorro, just before, that's the building was telling you about before where you live. There's a accounting building, wall house, opposite like a little shop going up Belmont Road before the credit union, and he relocated us up there. But if you know what you are about, if you sit down and you put down those numbers and you start to think and get on with it, you'll see. It will not take much. It will not take long to change the trajectory of your life. So just having that encounter with me as a businesswoman and seeing what I was able to do, Tony, when Tony looked up, Tony said, 150 people out from the floor gave away, I said, but I told you, it's not my fault. I said, that's your problem, not mine. You dealing with the building, I dealing with the business. I know I got you money. You need to find a place, and that's how I used to tell him. And his thing was, well, how this woman convince these people to do this and that's another thing I can tell you about. When I did that business came to me in a dream. And when I did that business, and God gave me the whole strategy, and we're going to do strategy, and I'm going to let Crystal talk a bit on one of these sessions on strategy. When God gave me the strategy, God said, listen, you're going right next door. You're going right in the area where somebody's offering that, and you're going right next door to them. And I was like, they can't go next to the competition. And God said, yes, you can. You're going right next door there, and you're going to offer the service, same service, and you're going to do it better. I remember the guy from AMS, Anthony, one of my good friends, and he said, but Cheryl, you were coming and run me off my street. I bought the secondhand computers from him when he was selling off the computers. I bought them from him, rented the building side of him, do the business, same business side of him, and run you off the street. Right now, he operates KFC around the back. I'm in the beginning about you. I was like, you gotta run me off. I said, it's not my fault that you and keep the business up, compete with your competition, right? So just by branding myself and coming in the market at a certain standard, I was training people from the central bank. You understand what I'm saying? When I told Bertram Hall I was going out, he said, Cheryl, you're going down a hole. Why are we doing that? I said, because the business need it. And just like that, that business was able to do a lot in that community, a lot in that area. So Talia, own it. Step into it. Step into it. Surprise yourself. Right? Surprise yourself. Okay? I think that's the most thing. Own it. Whatever people are saying to you or what they see in you, own it and start to become it. You might not be all of it. You might not feel that you're it, but start little by little to own it. Start dressing like it. Start talking like it. Start doing it little by little. Don't look at, like I said, remember I talked about needlepoint moves? You are at the stage now of needlepoint moves. So if I say to you, but look, I see you, you are excellent at customer service and understanding what people need and structuring and presentation and so on. So the needlepoint, think of a needlepoint, little points. Okay, this is what I'm going to do today to do this. This is what I'm going to add to that tomorrow. This is what I'm going to add the next day. And you will find in 30 days, if you commit yourself to it, you will not recognize yourself. That's how I did it. I knew exactly what God had said to me and what I had to do. I remember when I said to my husband, okay, well, God, I got this dream, I'm going to own a computer business. And my husband said, you, computer business? Sure, because at that time I hadn't done anything in IT. My husband said, but I saw my degree in IT. I said, I don't need to have a degree. I just need to hire people who have the degree. And just like that, God said, okay. Now I wanted a top of the line business. God said, okay, well, y'all call Commerce University of Waterford. You're connected at Commerce University of Waterford. Find out how much those teachers get paid an hour, double the salary, and get them working for you. That's how I did it. That's how I did it. So while my husband was thinking, oh, you need to know this and you need to go. No, I don't. I need to be able to afford to pay me, the overheads, and them, and get the job done as expertly as possible. And that's how I did it. Right? So, lots of information, lots of nuggets. I hope that I've inspired you. Like I said, I am here to educate you, to empower you, and to elevate you. That's why I'm sharing the information that I'm sharing. I am passionate about it. All right? And I'm helping you by teaching you new things. I'm helping you. I'm showing you how to, the things that you're learning, I'm also showing you how to convert it into action. I am not doing what, as Bernard said, he went to many seminars. I'm not giving you a seminar where you come in here and you walk away and say, oh, the speaker was great, presenter, oh, what did they talk about? I don't know. Or a month or 2 months afterwards, you cannot, there's nothing, you can't look at your life and say, well, I did this differently as a result of attending that seminar. This is not one of those seminars. I am teaching you how to do the needle point moves. There was one lady past Nancy Belgrave. I remember when we first connected, so she said, well, you got anointing for money to swallow you. I remember this woman said this immediately. Pastor Nancy has never even stepped in my house. Not once. And she said, you got anointing for money to swallow you. I won't be close to you. I want to reuse. Well, you know. And I was like, well, this woman knows nothing about me. How would she get there? And then I remember one day she said to me, she said, I listen to you. And I do what you said. You talk about how you had the business at home and you used to leave home and go work for somebody else and was making money for your own house. I started underwear and panty business and thing. And I do that for my husband. And I was like, that's it. That's it. That's it. The man that I used to buy panties from, I used to get panties from him at cost price and sell panties too. That's it. But how hard do I have, if I am at work, I work in an organization with other women, like how far do I have to go to sell women the sexy panties I wear? Kill two birds with one stone. So you might not have to, don't think that you have to move a mountain or no, you don't. But I am here to help you with the skills, the strategies, the wisdom to do what you need to do to go to the next level. So just begin to own it, Talia. Don't think about it. Don't try to work it. Don't try to. Just begin to own it. Okay, this is who she sees in me. Let me begin. Start to write down. Start to do the research. Right? For me, in terms of my destination is to do the global conferences, to do the live conferences, to be traveling as a speaker. My destination is to be married to, I think I can finally put this out there in the atmosphere because I think I finally decided it. Before I wasn't sure because there were so many options, and I think I want to be married to a minister. I want to be connected to somebody who serves people and who understands the importance of serving people spiritually and so on. So you have to fine tune. You gotta fine tune that destination. Otherwise, you're gonna accept anything. You're gonna you imagine you being on a train and you're heading a particular place, but yet still you stopping off. Every time train stop, you getting off. Why? Why are you getting off at pit stops that really and truly they're not where you want to go? They're not your destination. It's not the type of person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Why are you making that pit stop? Why? You want an adventure? Well, fine. If you want to go on an adventure, you think if that's your destination, sure. It means adventure. I want a little piece of Paris. I want a little piece of Bora Bora. I want a little piece of Sudan. Sure. You understand what I'm saying? But be very clear, be very specific about what that final destination for you looks like. Okay? And I'll share something with you. Like I said to you, I had a meeting this evening about the trip to Jamaica, the missionary trip. The family who's hosting this thing, I mean, there's still crazy people. This 2022, a global pandemic, there are still crazy people out there. A husband and wife sat on a Zoom, two of them in the same frame of the camera, and said, listen, we are hosting you in Jamaica. Our home is big enough to hold comfortably 30 plus people. So we're happy to have you. All you need to do is to book your flight. We are going to provide your accommodation, your food, everything else. We're going to do everything for you. All we are doing for you is that we're going to be treating you the way that we would want you to treat us when we come to your country, you have to host us. Any questions? The man presented, he said, and I was like, well, there's still crazy people. I used to do that with my house. Come, everybody, bring your family, bring children, whoever. Sleep over. We do gospel thing, Bible meetings. I wake up in the morning when the sun come up. I got orange juice and breakfast, and I live in the place Oprah Winfrey and Breck. I used to do that. Right? My children's bed, my beds, everybody beds, whoever children, come, sing. Everybody cross the bed and sleep in and thing. So you gotta allow yourself to stretch beyond where you currently are, beyond what you possibly think that you can do and afford right now. I remember I was at the hospital with Crystal, and when they called Crystal's name, they called up Crystal Outram to go in, and I'm sitting. And you remember what I talked about defeatism, because you can go through things in life that can just suck the wind out of you. I've been through a lot. I've been through, you name it. But do a checklist. I've been through it, right? And there I was at a season where I was so tired because I was going through the whole thing with Crystal's illness and everything. And I'm sitting, and this lady looks at me and she said, excuse me, I don't mean to be rude, but I just heard you're with the young lady. I said, yeah. She said, I just heard her name. I am looking for this lady with the same name. Her name is Outram. I haven't seen her in a long time, and I'm looking for this lady, and I'm there thinking, I don't recognize the lady that's talking to me. And I'm there thinking to myself, who's this now? Who's this? Is this bailiff? Is this thing? Is this because I was going through such a rough time? Is this somebody my husband set up now and sending for me again? Because there was so much drama. So I'm there trying to profile and process. And I'm listening. I said, oh, okay, tell me more about this lady. She said, I was a little girl, and my mother and father used to go to this lady's house, and I used to have some wonderful times at this lady's house. And I always enjoy those meetings. And now I'm an adult, I want to find her again because I want to do that again. I said, okay, so tell me about this house and these meetings. She said she used to live somewhere in St. James, and she had this big house, and all the children and all the adults and everybody used to be at her house every day. I said, and what was her name? She said she was Outram. I can't remember. I think it was Cheryl Outram or something like that, but I can't remember her name. I could just remember these experiences. And it was only when she done tell me all that, I said, oh, this is she. You know? And She reminded me of things in my life that I didn't even remember. Jonathan Carter, who is the cricketer now, he grew up in my house. My ex-husband taught him how to play cricket. My ex-husband was having, come, Jonathan, come bowling. But you understand? Those are the people that passed through my life. Darnita Phillips, right? She was the little girl. The father had 2 children. And I would never imagine 2 little babies, and she can still remember that experience. As I said, I used to, getting all like it's Oprah free. That's what I know starting out in life. I don't even think I had like house furniture, proper furniture and things like that, because like I said, for me, it was about people. It was about having rich experiences, right? Whatever I had, But she remembered, and she was able, just because she heard Crystal's last name, she was able to ask me about that. And boom, we reconnected. She's been at my house recently and stuff. She was going through a very rough time as well, very ill and thing, and she wasn't sure. She had lost her job and everything, wasn't sure what to do, what to start. And when she came here, I said, listen, I'll give you an idea. I'll tell you everything. I just created some journals and whatever, and I said, well, look, this is something, if you're passionate with this, something that you can start with and thing, and it can hook you up and thing. And she produced her own journal. She has produced even a better journal than mine. Brought it back 2 weeks ago to show me, look, I did it. And she brought her journal. And she came and sold one to my next door neighbor. $65 for one of the journals. $65. You understand what I'm saying? She did it. Now, this is somebody who's been struggling with different health issues. I said, no, it's okay. You lost your job. All is not lost. Boom. This is start here. And she came and she showed me, she said, look, I did something. This was my own creation. Brilliant. Right? It is already within you. It is already within you. Okay? And I can't say that enough.
I think for me, a very big part to it too is fear and uncertainty. Mm-hmm. Everybody has had stuff happen to them and whatever that helped mold basically where they're at now. And for me, I trying to step out of that bubble, but stepping out of fear and uncertainty, that's something I've yet to conquer.
Mm-hmm. Fear. How did I handle fear? Talia, you want to hear the truth? I might seem like a confident person. People might say, well, you're real confident, nothing don't scare you or whatever. But everything you do is do it afraid. That might sound funny. But you're always frightened, but you do it anyhow. As a matter of fact, no, there are 2 things about it. 1, I didn't have a fear factor. And 2, even the fear factor, because when I am afraid, for me, fear is, it's like how you have like different parts of your body, and you know that this, okay, well, that's that's where you belong, that's your business, and okay, fine, I do it anyhow. There are a lot of things that I have done that were bigger than me. As a matter of fact, I think if you're not afraid, there's a positive side of fear, Talia. I'll tell you the positive side of fear for me, how I worked it. The things that frightened me most were the things that changed me most, that challenged me most. I remember when I used to do Girlfriends Expo, and I used to take women and men and take them and their businesses to be displayed at Girlfriends Expo. So here's this big Girlfriends Expo, and I'm like the mini expo within the expo, because again, another strategy, instead of me just going to the expo and taking my business, I took other businesses who paid me to help them structure their business and to expo. So therefore, I was paying what was charged, and people were paying me what I charged. Okay? And that was one of the craziest things in my life. And we did that at the Concord Experience and stuff. And I remember when I went, and I had a team with me who I wanted to be my support team. And there's a lady, Judy Ford, I'm going to ask Judy to come into one of these sessions one time, because Judy had the experience. Judy thought, were you crazy? And Judy was the head of the private minibus and thing association. Huh? There's a woman that handling money, right? And Judy was like, it's a mad woman. So no thing. So when we went to the Concord now to choose the location for me, for my people and the booths and stuff, they showed me the inside, and they showed me entrance and so on. So they asked me to choose where I wanted. And I walked in, I walked back out. In, out, in. And then I said, I want right here. Right outside the door. Judy looked at me and said, well, what you want outside? What we want to be inside? What everybody be inside? And Judy was like, oh, I said, no, I want inside. Right here, right outside the door. And sometimes I don't explain the sense to my madness. But it's only afterwards, on the actual day, and Judy's saying, you know what Judy realized? Exactly where I had chosen was where the lanes were backing up. But not only that, you got past me twice. If I at the door, you got to pass me twice. You got to enter and come back out the same way. You got to pass me twice. So while everybody else was on the inside and people were going to their booths and going around and circling, come back, passing them once, you got to pass me twice. You got to pass me and all of my exhibitors twice. As a matter of fact, because I at the door, what happened was because we were using the Concorde, there were two doors, and because the lines were backing up at the front of my booth, the exit door, they decided then to use the exit door as an entrance door. And the shortcut to get to the other door was through by my booth. So you had to stop and listen to me and talk to pass through by my booth. I provided entertainment. I had like one of the clubs at the time that I was working with, who was my one of my businesses that I was coaching, was a taekwondo company. I got that same those taekwondo guys to dress up in their gear and to do some taekwondo stunts while people were there standing up and saying. So the taekwondo group grew because they were showing people how to protect a woman, what to do, and stuff like that, right there at that entrance. The lady who had the hair braiding business, I had Trina there braiding and doing weaves and things right there at that entrance. Trina's business grew so much, and she got so much business at one point when Trina was finished. Trina had carpal tunnel. You understand what I'm saying? Trina was selling weaves at that time. Trina had $1,000 weaves and stuff. And I was like, the amount of people that came to our booth, and because we move as a group, the strategy again, because we move as a group, if somebody came to our group just because of Trina and the hair, the other people got the spillover, right? So the other people were able to hand out the flyers and everything. I could not believe the amount of people that came to that table to buy hair for $1,000. I could not believe it, right? So find your passion. Find your passion and you're going to find your purpose. It's as simple as that. Find your passion and you're going to find your purpose. Find your passion. Find that thing that excites you, that ignites you, that you can do and you don't consider it to be work. It's as simple as that. Find your passion. Find your purpose. All right. Anybody else? I know tomorrow is Monday, and some may feel they have to go and prepare and stuff. So we're gonna wrap up. And go ahead, Bernard.
I was just gonna say very, 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 very good job. Very good job. You're awesome. You're awesome.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
awesome. But tell Talia is her name.
Yeah, Talia.
First, find out who you are, who she is.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell that Talia is a beautiful lady because anytime you walk in, Tony, you're still there. Anytime you see two ladies together, you say, "Hey, can I take a picture?" The beautiful one always said, "Oh, not this old ugly girl, not this ugly one." And the ugly one said, "Yes, sure." And before you could take 50 pictures of the ugly girl and no pictures of the beautiful girl. You're beautiful person. Don't think don't worry about what person think about you. Know about yourself, love yourself, and go for whatever you want. Because it's your right. God has given us all talents. And don't worry, you go through life worrying about what other people think. You'll be in bad shape. Don't worry about it. Just go do your thing. And smile, 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 smile. And while you succeed. Alright? That's my advice to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Alright. So you did a good job.
Thank you.
Cheryl, as usual. So I'm saying good night to everybody. We haven't heard from our partner. and Cologne tonight.
Yeah,
Antonio
Antonio.
tonight.
Yeah, he's still here.
It's still here. It's still here.
Thank you. Thank you for sticking it with me, Antonio. You know, I'm excited about you and Sakura. I love the husband and wife team, and I am always inspired by the two of you and how you work together as a team.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Awesome.
It just be it just be good because normally if there's something that is on the agenda that needs to be dealt with, um if she propose it or impose a detail will it's all things it may not go well, but depending on how the situation is that is make sure it work. That's the biggest thing is gonna make sure it work. So most of the time when it goes to the table, yeah, it is mostly work. So I don't really got no worries nor anything to with dealing with
Amen.
certain situations.
Y'all help each other to elevate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's every man. I can't speak for the woman, but that's every man's dream to have a woman who works along with him.
Amen.
I've been in the financial service business for 30 plus years, and I would ask my wife. I said, "Well, come to the office and meet some ladies, and meet some of the people and see what goes on." She had no interest whatsoever. All she would like to do is to see the checks ready to come home. Sometimes I had $20,000 check, 30, maybe as much as $40,000 check when you get a commercial property or something like that, or more. I would come home and say, "Hey, baby, this is one for you," and I give it to her. And she said, "Oh," she screamed and everything. And then she said, "But wait, I can't cash this check. My name is not on." I said, "You're damn right." just come to the office. Let me teach you some processes. Let me teach you because you never know where we're going. You could be at work and you could make a check for $40,000 or $50,000 for processing. That's more money in our pocket. She wouldn't come, man. She wouldn't come. All my life, I search for a wife or a partner that follow me, or I follow her. As you work together, I was telling Cheryl about my mother and father who made less money than we make today. But they were able to build what we call an empire, uh, 7 houses in the U.S., 2 houses over here, businesses. They had just about everything from from a little income. All the things. This is the man that taught me to pick up nails. Don't pass a nail in the street. If I see a nail in the street, pick it up, straighten it out, and then put it in a bucket, sort it out.
So you can relate to what I was saying about my dad.
Yeah, I can. Because I'm sitting and I'm laughing because I had to do the same thing. 10 penny, 8 penny, shit thing. I go all the different days because I had to do that as well. But these are the people, see, you don't need a lot. People think you need a lot of money to become wealthy. You don't need a lot of money to become wealthy. You just have to start practicing the techniques at an early stage, and that's how you become wealthy. So my dad, he made more money. We're living off of me straightening out nails right now.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
All right. So so man, Cheryl, you've been good. You've been great again.
Thank you.
I have a nephew. Quickly, I have a nephew say that a woman never did anything good. I said, "Man, your mother's still alive?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, she ought to slap you." You know what I mean? You're probably her best creation. You're her best creation. I said, "Go look on the internet and see women creations, and you see how many things that women created. Man, it would make your head spin."
Blow your mind.
Then he found out the first person that created the alarm system was a woman. First person that created so many things was a woman that you don't know about because that's the attitude that you have and that's the way you feel about women. I said, "I could tell that you and your mother don't have a good relationship." because they know a woman that's better than my mother, man. I tell you that. I love that woman till she died. So you gotta do some searching. So don't let people's thoughts on what they think about you change who you are. You know who you are. Just live it the way you are. You see it, and go ahead and enjoy life.
Yeah.
All right, that's my talk tonight for you. And,
Is Outram
Yes,
and
please.
Bernard.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Before you go, Socorro, I think you want to talk to both of you all.
Okay.
Yes.
You sure? Oh, she said don't worry. She said don't worry.
Okay.
Okay.
She said don't worry.
I thought she was inviting us to dinner or something like that to tell Cheryl.
No, man, I believe Sakura, there's something to do with her hyperverse and her rebase and Sakura compared down her days.
Have you guys done the rebuy already?
Not as yet.
Not as yet, right.
I think not as yet.
Should be coming up soon,
Okay.
though.
All right.
Yeah, coming up soon.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as I guess you guys gonna need help
Doing
doing
that.
that. So, yeah, Cheryl is quite equipped to help you. If any problem, then I step in and we get you there. All right. But
Yeah, no problem.
That's the most exciting part of the month is revise. And then when you get to do revise every day, you're even more excited. You're even more excited. So just keep going for it, man. Going for it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I think I want to I'll get back to you though, but I will check in on you in terms of that, and also I want to set up a meeting this week to introduce new people to that business. So if there are persons that y'all want to invite as well, I'm going to reach out to you, you and Sakura, about that. Judy, I want to share that opportunity with you as well, and to Leah, I'll give you an invitation to that meeting as well. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for coming, and as usual, I'm just gonna sound off with our theme song. It's the new level. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Walking in abundance, moving with the speed of the Holy Ghost. Abundance, speed of the Holy Ghost. Yeah, I am favored. Do you know you are favored? Come on, lift up your heads. Supernatural, supernatural. It's a new level. It's a new level. It's a new level. It's a new level. Supernatural. with my